Happy New Year's, guys.
That's 2020.
Get an applause for that?
Yeah, of course. Sorry about that. Where's my button?
Listen, it's 2021. We have left the year of the shithole. We have left the year of the shithole.
Cosmo!
Cosmo's still here.
In the building.
The team is here.
We here. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You feeling excited to get out of that goddamn fever dream of a year?
Yeah.
Or does it feel the same?
Florida feels the same.
Florida always felt the same.
Florida continues to have fuckery, debauchery,
It don't
just
stop, man.
righteous and the ratchet
It don't
of
stop.
the world. We're the capital of that, and it's never going to cease. And I will say,
No matter the year.
shout out to all the commenters, likers, dislikers. Thank you for contributing to our page. Thank you for interacting with our content. Who would have known?
Yeah.
Fat guy, tall guy, talking about Florida history would entertain folks.
At least a little bit. You know, we get some good reviews. We get some bad reviews. We get some. I've actually had a good conversation. Not a good conversation. Let me back that way back. I had some interaction with a hater that was almost constructive. It didn't all the way get flushed out, and I still didn't get any specific reasoning why you were a hater. But, you know, maybe we'll get there one day where we can all the way find out and get a clear understanding.
What weren't you guys on? What was the subject matter?
Well, you know how we got a lot of negative feedback on the Outlaws episode.
Oh, okay. So it was a motorcycle enthusiast.
And I was speaking, you know, what specifically were we incorrect? What did we do wrong?
Yeah.
And, you know, I got a response like, oh, I'll tell you exactly what you did wrong. I'll tell you exactly what you did wrong. If I can't do it right now, I need a little time. I need to get my thoughts together, and then we'll do that. And I responded, sweet. Let's hear it. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready whenever you
Next
are.
Next day. I haven't forgot about you, this person says. This conversation needs to be had, this person says. Next day, let's get together and do a video chat because we really need to have this conversation. And I say, absolutely, we'll get that together. But for now, tell me specifically why we're idiots and why we are wrong. Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets. Still haven't heard it.
You know what it is? It's because everyone's allowed to have their opinion,
yes,
right? And then when you want to like disprove somebody or make them look wrong, you kind of want to come with your full set, you know? But every circumstance and story is different. I guess you can always have like a different approach to what is right in the outlaw, biker, community, lifestyle, vibe, whatever.
Okay.
You could also, you know, like, it reminds me of being like these people that have like a one-sided view on things and are not allowed to be open-minded. And I'm not saying all bikers are like that, but the majority of like the hate that we've got on that are closed-minded people, and they kind of act to me like, I think certain people get their socialization, their way to really like communicate with other humans in high school, right? This is where you like sort of get your hierarchy, right. You know. You
figure out how to get through the world a little bit.
A lot of people don't
think you do.
A lot of people are not fortunate enough to make it to the university or college, so maybe their last great plight is in high school.
Yeah.
Then when they move to the workforce, what happens, right? You bring that high school mentality with you, and a lot of us grow up and become old people with a high school mentality.
Eesh.
You know, imagine not being able to evolve and grow and understand other sides of things. I mean, that's what really makes you, I think, and who am I to call what is real mastery or whatever, but I think the more open-minded you are, the more you become or try to become like an empath in the sense of the way other people
put yourself
might react.
In somebody else's shoes for a second and try to like.
Makes you a more well-rounded, and I would believe like a master. I think like people we look up to, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, you know, people that seem to always have a positive reflection and a way to motivate you and
Yeah, they
see all
exude
sides
that
and not
confidence.
divide, right?
Right.
Unify,
Right. Bring
unite.
together. Mm-hmm.
Those type of people have to understand all mastery, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have a conversation or argument with people like that because you never felt like, you know,
It ends up being a conversation.
yeah,
It's not even an argument.
Yeah, it's
You
not.
get. I love when you talk to people, and even when you're wrong, they make you feel okay about it
Yeah,
because there's something about what you're saying that may be right. You know, when people say, you finish your thought, and this happens to me all the time because I'm not the smartest dude ever, but I'll be in conversations with people that are super smart, and then they'll say something like, you know, like he was saying, or similar to what he was saying. They'll say something after that, and I'm thinking, I don't remember saying anything close to what this motherfucker just said, but he brought me in on his thought, and I feel smarter for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those people are like next level. But then you got people who are just stuck in Stucksville and can't really like get past the fact that maybe something they thought before was fucked up. And they can't get past it. Now they're offended because somebody's like reading the truth off of a piece of paper or off of facts that you found somewhere. Anyway, it's all good. You know, 2021, I think the energy should be empathy, understanding, especially because the year before a bunch of people were like fucked up and feeling bad, and it's carrying over to the new year. So if you have some sort of like leg up or advantage, maybe share it with people or something like that. That's the energy I'm on.
I think also we've been more grateful on like the basic simple things like spending more time with our family. I think this year forced us to spend more time with our family. So through the negative, you can always find positive.
How do you do that?
By being like everything we were just speaking about the last few minutes is being optimistic, being open-minded, being empathetic to other people's emotion and what they're going through. But sometimes it's really hard to do that. I think we have the argument often on like, do you become an evil person or a bad person or a negative person or somebody with a fucked up life, or is this something that nature and your environment, right? We always hear about this. I'm a product of my environment,
right? So one of our comments had to do with one of the main focuses of that conversation, Jeffrey Dahmer, when one of the negative comments where King Dahmer isn't worthy of this crap.
That was a comment.
That was a comment left because
the emoji was like a little baby doll with like a red cross, and there's people that are empathetic to people like Jeffrey Dahmer. Are they bad people?
That's a tough one for me
because they're empathetic.
Yeah, well, empathy is one thing. To make him a king is another. To exalt him, or I think is that a term? To put him up on that pedestal is another thing.
Right.
Now, I don't want to go calling anybody anything. Never met this person. No man, woman, child. I don't know who this person is, but King Dahmer is kind of
made you feel uncomfortable.
This dude killed people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So empathy for sure is a good thing because like you're saying with Dr. Love, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He went through some shit maybe. Although we learned Dahmer probably, what did he go through?
But the thing about Dahmer is that he did it as somewhat of an older man.
This is what we're talking about.
Right. What about when you're like a teenager or a child? Like we've had that like Vampire Rod, right?
Yeah.
Schaefer, right? The kid that rode around in Osceola shot some people.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about today Tyler Hadley.
Tyler Hadley, out of where?
Well, Tyler Hadley is out of the west coast of Florida, but Gulf Coast. What makes him such a notorious story is that you remember the whole Project X movie?
I love that fucking movie.
So we often talk about how Hollywood and society influences kids, right? It's another conversation we have. This story is going to touch all of this, right? The story is going to touch like young people being bad. When do you start being bad? Or does the product of your environment affect you from being good or bad? And also, the other thing that we constantly always talk about is the influence that media and society has on kids and people and the way they react to it. So this kid arguably was,
Arguably.
yeah,
Okay.
was a regular kid, right? Like
Okay.
somebody that, run the mill, good parents, mom and dad, no real
Okay.
dysfunction, house, food on the table. Now, there was some documented proof that he had some issues with depression and he was going through, but I would even say nowadays that's just common. Like a lot of kids are going to go through anxiety, pressure of high school. We talk about
Okay.
the social incriminalization of your mind, right?
Well, what?
I'm gonna break
What
that
was it?
down. That was
No.
a metaphor,
Whoa.
miracle, spiritual
No, I was
rap,
trying to hear
Social?
social
incriminalization.
incriminalization.
Yeah,
Incriminalize. What is that?
you're criminalizing your mind through wanting to fit in, right? Through being social, to trying to interact and be cool at school. You start criminalizing your mind because
Is that the term we're going for?
when you're in high school, who's the badass in high school? Huh? It's the kid breaking the law, the kid that, is cutting school,
Okay.
smoking some weed.
Mhm.
He knows how to like puncture the beer and suck it out.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Mezzo. Shout to Mezzo.
like these are dudes that we look up to in high school, right? The
I don't know if we looked up to
badasses
them, but,
in some respect. Not all the kids are gonna go that far, but at least we idolize those things,
Definitely
and we're
bought
like,
some weed off
hey,
them.
that motherfucker's a cool motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
If you're that kind of kid, though,
there was a thing that was
there's kids that are scared of that.
after my childhood, but still, regardless, this was a thing that I think we all aspired to either throw the biggest party
Okay.
or go to the biggest party.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't have the balls to throw it,
Nah.
but you at least wanted to go
I threw
experience
one
it.
party and I got fucked for it. Well, literally, and then my parents found out. So, but it was a good time. Whatever.
Like Project X style.
Hell no. But
How many people?
17, 20 people. I don't know. Not a
That
lot.
still could be Project X.
It could, and they stole some shit, and some girl threw up in my dad's office, and had to stop like a rape from happening, like all sorts of shit.
A lot of criminal shit.
It got crazy.
Criminalization.
It got a little crazy. That's what I'm saying. Not like project. I didn't burn anything down, but I threw that one party. That was
Bro.
the last party I threw.
You don't want to show up to a high school party and play Scrabble, okay?
Oh no, you don't. What is that?
You don't want to show up to a high school party
No.
and not get fucked up, bro.
Well, I don't know. I didn't really start getting
No,
fucked
bro,
up.
you
till I was,
want
like,
to experience
later.
the craziest shit ever.
Well, I guess never mind. Take
So-
that back.
I threw crazy parties. I had a really laid back mom that allowed me to throw parties all the time.
Okay.
My mom also owned a property management company,
Mm-hmm.
and we would clean houses, so we had access to these houses,
Word.
and we would throw parties. I
Did
mean,
you charge?
yeah,
Word.
kegs,
Yeah.
ecstasy,
Well,
weed room.
that's probably a bad idea.
We've been throwing. I've been throwing events since I was a little kid.
Right.
Like organically, and then turned it into an event planning company
That's why you
eventually.
should get back into it. That's what I'm saying. What?
So I know how to connect people. I know what the turn up's like.
Mhm.
I know why people are coming here, and I know I'm gonna get some clout off of it.
Mhm.
It's being the coordinator of an event and being like that dude.
A successful event.
Yeah. Even if it's debauchery and people have a great
No,
time.
I mean that's success in that frame of a high schooler. That's success. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can argue that it's also you can also monetize that in some ways.
That's not an argument. You can.
Yeah.
You do. Somebody
So-
has to buy the ecstasy and the weed, and
So
this is all. Yo, Kai, if you watching this, I'm just saying, don't do any of this shit. Sorry.
what is the
I
level?
got a fucking 16-year-old that might be watching this.
I think we as humans, even at a young age, can kind of like tell like, okay, that was way too far. You know what I mean? But what is way too far? When we watch Project
I don't
X,
know, dog.
you saying you had to almost get a girl prevented from getting raped,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Now hear my argument on this, right?
What are we arguing?
Because I want you to be empathetic.
What are we arguing?
You know how cool it is to throw a party.
I don't know. That's why I only threw one party. I'm the guy. I go to the party. I don't want the party around my shit.
Okay.
Just like the Mike Busey episode when I'm like, I want to go to that castle, but I don't want that castle right down the street from my house.
You ever seen the Macaulay Culkin movie, The Bad Child?
Good Son?
The Good Son.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Child.
Close.
Mom is hanging
there holding
over
the
cliff
cousin and the kid.
Who are we going to let go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What if you were in the mind of a kid, right? More than not, they live in there now.
Okay.
Forget the future.
Fuck yeah.
What's going on right now?
They got it right.
How am I going to get it right now?
They get it right. Yeah. They just may not have the right goal in the moment. Yeah.
If you was an insecure kid that had mental, bipolar disorder, maybe a little depressive, and you felt like this party was going to be your way in to socialize, unconsciously criminalize,
I still don't think that's something
monetize
correct.
Your social clout. The way to do this is a party. And if mom and dad is getting in the way, we need to murk mom and dad to throw this party.
See, that's a giant jump, though. That's so crazy jumping from...
You think it's that crazy?
It is. Because you went from having a good time, getting fucked up, all good. All of it's good.
Arguably, it's good.
You know, I'm not saying it's like you should go out and do a bunch of ecstasy and go to parties. I'm saying, like, in the mind of a child trying to party, that's good stuff, right? But in what world is killing, let alone your parents, a good thing, right?
Because you're going to throw a party afterwards.
I know the jump's crazy, though. So I can't co-sign, like, yeah, I get it. Nah, bro. Like, they're still that bad, that horrible, unconscionable.
I don't think a lot of kids are thinking about that.
Yeah, they are. You know why? Because we're talking about the one or the 2 or 3 times it happened, and all the other times it didn't happen. They were just, hopefully mom doesn't find out, or maybe mom's going to contribute. You know what I mean?
I think there's more kids that want to kill their parents, but they don't have the balls to do it. I think they can't control their emotions.
But you could argue
immature.
That there's people that want to kill other people also just in the world, but they don't have the balls because they're going to go to jail and shit like that.
I think
I don't know that because that you feel that feeling, it's okay or
no, I'm
not okay. I know you're not saying okay.
Yeah.
Understandable or like just the argument.
Being empathetic. It's 2021.
Feeling it? Nah, I don't feel. I'm not empathetic to that, you know? Because I'm a very big family person, as you are as well.
Yeah.
Family's everything. Family first.
But
family, if it needs to be family only. So when you start doing shit like
when did you stop thinking in the now? Was it after you had Kai?
When did I stop thinking in the now?
You know that little kid mind that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I need it now. I need it today. Blah, blah. Life is over if I don't get a car today. Oh my God, the people. If I don't have the right haircut or the right clothes.
No.
I don't want to look out of place.
No, I must have been.
Goddamn, my parents don't understand me.
I must have been 10 or 12 then. I'm still mad young because I never thought like that about my gear or anything like that. Because I probably always had everything I needed. I got lucky in that respect. Or at least I thought I had everything.
Your parents for anything?
Blame my parents for anything. In a good way, I guess. I've never been mad at my parents in that way. Like I've never
as a kid, never.
Fuck no.
Oh, okay.
Fuck no. Like I said, even when we were having hot dogs, eggs, and rice, I was excited because that shit was delicious. You know what I mean? It's never been presented to me in a way that I had less. You know, and I guess
you've never been mad at your parents growing up.
I've been mad at my parents for sure, but like for not letting me get a Motorino.
What the hell is that?
Like a scooter, not like a. It was called Motorino because it was in Italy. It's just a scooter, like electric scooter, like bigger than the little one, but smaller than a real motorcycle. So you're like in between.
But it wasn't angry. Were you angry?
No, it just sucks. I wanted it. I've never been angry. Like I'm so mad at my.
I have. I don't think I've ever been to a point where I was like thought about killing my parents, but I have been really angry at my mom before.
No, bro. Like I can't think. I've been like upset because like my real dad was a piece of shit, and she said that I reminded her of him one time.
Okay,
and that made me kind of like sad.
It didn't trigger you to like fucking bitch.
Fuck no. Like my mom?
No, right?
Never. I don't think I've ever actually like There's no way I could fix my brain or let alone my mouth to call my mom that. Like, I don't know. Like, no. You know why? Because she's never presented me with any reason to.
The reason I asked is that we're gonna learn in this case, like, this guy
My mom
stood over his mom while she was on the computer. First off, his mom was a teacher. Okay, so off the bat, this lady not only takes care of her kids, but she takes care of other kids. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she had to be a good parent to be that. Not there's no just thing of a perfect parent, but at least the understanding on what I need to be
She had
to
some training.
facilitate.
She had some training on how.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out that he stood behind his mom for 5 minutes before he came down with a hammer and basically bludgeoned her to death.
Was she watching something?
She was on the computer working, I think, on some like school projects or
Working
something.
fucking hard, bro.
And I'm just trying to think. I don't think I have ever had blind rage to my parents. I definitely feel like I've gotten mad enough to attack like somebody that was trying to fight me, but not family. Especially not my parents. I've never been that mad, but I'm sure that happens.
I got mad at my stepdad a couple times.
Where you wanted to maybe swing on
I
him?
did.
Or?
But I think that was a different thing because, for one, I was thinking that when you were saying that, like, a lot of kids, and I always call my son out on it. Like, a lot of kids are mad. Like, you don't even fucking know, bro. Like, you haven't done enough shit to be mad about something. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Oh, like, for me, I couldn't have my motorino. Like, but like, this motherfuckers over here don't have food and housing and shit like that. But you're mad because you can't have a motorbike. And
Yeah,
like,
but that doesn't work in a kid's mind.
I know, but I'm
Except
saying
when your parents are like, "Oh, finish your plate," because kids in Africa.
But I'm
don't
saying,
eat.
like, when you ask, were you mad enough? It's like, maybe I thought I was when I swung. Like, I did, I've hit my stepdad in the head. He's my stepdad. I've slapped him. I've thrown a rake at him, like a spear, like throw it right at his face. And I did something else, and was I actually mad?
Holy shit. I did pull out a knife on Emilio one time. I had a dog, and he was telling me he was going to get rid of the dog, and I think I pulled a knife out, and he laughed at me.
Right.
It's like, what are you going to do
It's like,
that?
you don't even know what the fuck. You're not mad. You think you're mad, and that's fine. I've said that before to my kid. I'm like, you feel like you're mad because he's like crying. He's like, "Argh," and he's doing, he's like, he's mad, and then I break down what he's mad about, and it goes away. Because you're mad because I won't let you do this. And it's just so simple and stupid, and you need to shut the hell up and go sit down. You know what I mean? You're holding a knife because I got to do this, that, third. You're not going to use it. You feel like you're going to use it. I don't know what the situation was or whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly that.
Same thing with the, with whatever. It's like.
But we've had good parents. You've been a good parent to Kai. What about.
You know why?
2020 on ID.
You know why? Yes, we are great parents. You know why? What made Daryl a great parent is, like, in all those situations, I felt 0 ounces of pain. 0 ounces of pain. I struck him. I threw a big object at his face, and I did something else. Actually, there was the fourth one too. The fourth one, he hog-tied me. He just tied me up. So I'm sitting there like, the third time, he caught what I was doing. I think it was like an elbow or something, and he just pressed me over his head, like put me over one time, and then he sat me down and just looked at me, right, on some like, nah, bro. The rake that I threw at his face, he caught like some sort of like.
I remember that story.
He was like, "Wha-cha!" And when I slapped him, I slapped the shit out of him, and I ran out the back of the house, jumped on my bike, came around, pedaling hard, and I'm like, yeah, laughing. And I look to my left, and he's in this bitch like this, like the fucking Terminator. Like, none of those times I felt any pain. All of those times, of course, I couldn't tell you right now why I did it, but I know it wasn't a good fucking reason. It was just some stupid ass thinking I am actually mad when I've never actually had to.
What if you would have heard him, though? You think you would have reacted like.
I don't think Daryl would have, no. I don't think he would have at all. He's just not that type.
No,
of
no.
dude.
Well, I'm talking about. I understand. Look, I'm trying to get out of the adult mind here because like it's more rational. I'm trying to get into child's mind. Like after you, let's say you threw that shit at Daryl and hit him, do you then fall back and feel guilty about it and be like, oh shit, I hit you, or you're like, fuck yeah, and you finish the job? You know what I mean?
I mean, in a moment, I probably would have tried to finish the job or whatever that means. Yeah.
Because you're like, it's uncontrollable rage, and if you don't have the experience to calm yourself down, even you explain that to Kai, helped him analyze it. If lady's on the computer, a homeboy's behind her, and he's just processing this anger, bam! I mean, after that first hit, you ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, if you're holding a hammer above somebody's head and you start pounding one, you're past the point of stopping for sure.
Then he turns around and Dad's like walks in and goes and freaks out, runs over to Dad and does the same shit.
Yeah.
Then brings him into the master bedroom and starts piling shit on top of them to get rid of like the shit that I'm imagining this.
It's pretty strong.
He drags both his parents into the master bedroom. Then he feels like, I get scared, and he starts piling shit on top of them to get rid of the body in his bodies in his mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Then waits 4 hours and throws a fucking house party.
Yep.
And according to the patriots that became the witnesses of the party, he's just doing his thing. Occasionally, talk to one of his friends and be like, "Yeah, I did something crazy." Blah 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 blah. Then take ecstasy, smoke, get drunk. Then like
let more out.
Let more.
Then he just said it.
And to the point where his friends went home and called Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, man. I'm glad they went home first. You know
why?
Because
called right then.
Fuck no, it's psychopath. I'm out. Yo, I see you, man. I gotta do dishes. Man. I'll be back though. Continue this party.
I think I would freak out at the party and be like, "Yo, what the fuck? You're crazy." I would call the cops right there.
That depends on how good of a friend you are.
Huh.
If you're a great friend, you freak out at the party. Try to like talk some sense into him or try to like whatever. If you're just a dude there for the party, I'm out. I'm fucking out, homie. Out.
That's a hard one. Your best friend.
Yeah, it's your boy. If it's your boy, you're going to like, damn, because you feel bad. And you know the parents and whatever. I would think, if that was because I've been in situations with my friends where I like did shit I shouldn't have as far as like helping out, I guess. Not a murderer, no shit like that, but like I've done shit I shouldn't have necessarily done.
Yeah, but murder's a whole other thing. Like,
of course.
Open the door, you see Dad's leg.
Yeah, and then you're just like, what the fuck? That's your dad, you stupid motherfucker. You blah, blah, blah. Call the police. There's no way you're going to get away with this. I'm calling the cops if you don't call the cops. And if he comes to me, and then, then we have a whole situation. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm not his friend, I'm out. If he's my boy, I'm like, yo, you fucking up. You are fucking up. Call the police. Don't run. You're going to get caught. Blah,
Do you
blah,
think
blah.
a 16, 17-year-old kid has that capability?
I was 17 when 3 grown men came to beat up my 14-year-old friend, and I talked the situation down a little bit. They ended up still kind of squabbing, but the other 2 guys, it didn't get to a point where everybody got their ass whooped. There was like a little scuffle, and then it shit went away. I was 17 at the time. I'm not saying every kid's gonna do that, and I'm not even saying some shit like, oh, that was perfect, because again, there was still a fight. I didn't really like talk it down. Thinking over it, I would have like, talked about how, hey man, that guy's 14, you're over 18, you're a GI, you're like a grown man with this kind of, but I didn't have that in me at that moment, probably.
Right,
You know
that's what
I mean?
I'm saying.
But I also, like I said, I've helped people in that kind of I've helped people in situations,
Out of that young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all questions I had.
Early 20s.
It's a crazy story. Not only that he murdered his family to throw a party, but that everybody was at the party partying. Some of them kind of knew what was going on.
What year was this?
Like 2011.
2011.
It's right after that Project X movie.
So that's MySpace, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And
MySpace
Facebook's
era.
still around.
And he was in high school.
Yeah, this was Facebook because they're going to talk about Facebook.
So he was in high school, right? So he was born 16 before that. So he was born in the 90s. 90s baby. I'm trying to like, there's no excuse. There's no understanding. There's no empathy for murdering your mother
and father.
Right. So a lot of times when we have these conversations, I realize that I am, I guess, just channeling my own personal experience, no matter how hard I try not to, and my real dad was a fucking asshole. So I guess I have more empathy for the killing of the mom thing. And that's why maybe I actually got mad and tried to do something to my stepdad and never my mother. So I literally just realized that at this moment when you said that, because when you said and the father, and I was like, yeah. I cared a little less about the dad, and that's fucking life, man. So I guess, and the father, of course.
Of course, we know that as the short but long.
Part of me is like, how come you couldn't do something with your son though? Like, dude,
I think he was in shock. What if you walk in, right? And one of the kids did that. I mean, I hate. I know,
and we're not actually, but it's like.
But imagine that because you've already like got love for this kid.
No, of course,
it's a shocking. You might just break down, bro.
You might be able to move.
You might break down.
Shock. You can't move.
You might just break down.
You can't move. You can't move. Can't talk.
Because it's not just your wife. It's the kid.
It's the mother and all of it. Yeah,
I can feel that. Yeah, bro. For sure. It's crazy.
I'm just saying. Part of me thinks like he's tinier than you probably or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but then I was like,
you're in shock. Yeah, shock's real, man.
Shock is real.
You seen Captain whatever that movie is with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
When he no
Sully,
not the Sully one, the when he was in the boat with the pirates.
Oh yeah.
Remember at the end of the movie, the end of the movie when they rescue him.
He was sad about the
bro. That if they have it on here, you should look at that shit. That Shock. That's where Tom Hanks made his money on that movie because he was like,
oh, I remember because he comes out of the boat.
The way he was doing
the rescue boat.
Woo! I was like, I cried at that moment. Like cried, but like
you felt it. Did you get the
like,
lump
damn,
in
Tom
throat?
Hanks, motherfucker. He was in shock, man. That shit's real. So I guess I get that too. And I'm not saying like he should have done better or anything like that. It's just like fuck, man. He killed his dad too.
Both of them.
Kill them both.
His older brother wasn't home, so I think the older brother really lost the most because he lost both parents and the brother to the system. And
so should the brother be in jail or should the brother be getting some sort of therapy?
Murder, when it comes to murder, I think you should definitely be put away. I think we still need to, rehab the whole criminal system, the criminal justice system. I don't think that. I think for just the same way we want to have cops have more training, maybe have a bachelor's degree, maybe go through like a boot camp, like we do the military or like Navy SEALs training, right? We got to do the same thing for corrections officers because the job of a corrections officer, more than not, is like a fallback career. And that's where you get a lot of the like corruptness or the abuse is because people are not genuinely there for the job per se to help people rehabilitate themselves. They're there for a check. There might be a small minority of people that really get off on helping people and wanting to correct them, right? Because it's called the Department of Corrections. We should have sociologists. We should have,
so you're saying
criminologists,
like prison guard should have degrees in
sociology and criminology, and it should be their job not just to look after them. And yeah, granted, security should be above all those things, but
yeah, if we have any correctional officers watching this, I'd love to hear that. If you think you should have more training, or if you'd be incentivized, if they incentivized it for you, would you be interested in getting more training in outside of physical altercations, but like some sort of psychiatry or whatever?
Yeah, I think we got to do that with police officers too. I mean,
for sure. And I guess it makes sense, but like it seems like, and I don't know shit from shit other than what I see from TV and what people have told me who have been in prison. It seems like correctional officers, whether they're good intentioned or not, are like babysitters.
Yeah,
They're just
that's true too. There are
babysitters.
just a lot of dumbass people in jail.
They're just in there trying to make sure they don't hurt themselves or other people, right? I don't know. So, like, what is the incentive to get them that degree?
The incentive is we clearly see that it's not working as a society the way the American westernized culture imprisons people and cause of corrections, but really they rehabilitate to nothing but the same old shit and go back to jail or end up doing something stupid, right? So we know that the system's not working, so we have to revamp the system. We have to try other things.
I know. I know the ultimate incentive is to get better system. I'm just mean for like the individual person, like me as Chris Thompson as a correctional officer, right? And now I need to go pay to get certified in.
Well, that's what
whatever.
I'm saying. Society, we have to switch the job and not make it look like, oh, we'll just take whoever we can to fill this position. Like you didn't make it in any other career. Maybe you don't know what you want to do, but come over here. We'll give you a pension. They'll be part of a system. Just show up, clock in, clock out. Like we have to get rid of that. Same thing with teachers, right? Like we want to change the world in some respect. I'm not trying to be like a utopic fucking philosopher, but like the more we put into investing, these people spend 8 hours a day with our kids. Like, shouldn't we over invest into that? And that's just only natural gonna trickle down and make better people, you know?
Trickle up.
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense, but that's a whole different argument about where the money goes. But as far as like me as an individual, I guess what I'm trying to get to is like they shouldn't have to pay for it. They shouldn't have to pay to get these extra degrees.
Oh no, I don't.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Incentivize.
If they're not, if they do have to pay for it, then we should pay. The position should pay more.
That's what I mean by like what is besides making the world a better place? Yeah. What is the incentive?
I think that if you're gonna go into a social service job, education should be free. If you're gonna be a social service worker, corrections officer, police officer, social worker, nonprofit organizer, union worker, whatever, teacher, you should just get free education.
Yeah, man.
Why not?
Why not?
Like, why not?
Why not?
You want to go be a doctor, lawyer?
I hear a bunch of people saying, "Who's gonna pay for it?" Motherfucker, they wrote checks on checks on checks.
The people like doctors.
Money's not real.
Doctors, lawyers.
Money's not real. We're just agreeing it is.
Yeah, but not just that. You have other professions that incentivize people with more money. Let them pay for school.
Yeah,
it's enough money.
Yeah,
there is enough money.
There is because it's not real. Sorry. I'm not apologizing, but I'm saying it's a different conversation. We should definitely figure out. What am I talking about? So with that case, not us figuring it out.
In every neighborhood, there should be 3 or 4 houses that motherfuckers can throw wild parties at.
Why?
Because they're gonna do it anyway. What? We got to start accepting. We got to start accepting adolescence for what it is. We know if we build a society with all these taboos, right? Hold on, I'm a suplex this on you real quick. Let me mentally suplex this. All right, listen. If American society builds their foundation on these taboo beliefs with like over Christian beliefs, over sexuality, drug culture, all these things, and we create these no's, but we know when you're in high school, like, you know, do it while you're young, kids, right? Like this whole YOLO vibe. We know that's going to happen, right? So society should have like a couple houses in every neighborhood that let kids socialize in the way that we know they are. By getting drunk, high, and turning up, you know what I mean? There'll be some rules there, but I think we got it. And I know I'm being like I'm overshooting this
Netflix
idea.
has this show called movie that we watched literally last night, which is funny. It's called The Binge, and it's the same idea as The Purge, except that one day a year, all drugs, all alcohol, everything is legal for anybody to do, including children, for one day a year.
I think that's cool.
So what happened was it was the craziest fuck show ever. Like mountains of coke, like mainlining ketamine and ecstasy and
I think one day is too much. I think that we just got to be more accepting of these things. And
sure, that's a fair statement. Making drug party houses is a fucking bananas idea, and it's not a good idea. It's a terrible idea.
It's gonna happen anyway.
Right. So we like just like we have been, we try to stop that from happening.
You have
as much as you
lifeguards
can.
at the party.
You try to stop that as happening. That's a separate conversation. You
Party lifeguards.
That's the start. It's a separate conversation. That may be that may be a fucking. Hold on.
It's a new profession. Party lifeguard.
Party lifeguard. I even like the name.
Call him what?
Don't even call him up.
You'd be like, yo, we need you at the party.
Yo.
To hold everybody down.
All right,
no
don't
murders.
Copyright.
No shooting at people's feet after parties.
No.
No crazy. Like, yo, that's your limit.
Again,
how much you weigh? That's
again.
too much cocaine for you. That's way too much cocaine.
Yo.
And they bring out a little statistic book. Like, you should Google it. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to be the Hitler of your party.
I'm not agreeing
you
with
don't weigh 112.
Understand I'm not agreeing with your party house idea, but I like the party lifeguard idea separate from this conversation. That's what I'm applauding. Not the party house for kids. It may happen. So let them go find that shit on their own and let me as an adult parent or as that parent or whatever do my job and keep them out of it.
If adults can fight at Chuck E. Cheese.
They can't.
No, they do.
They do, but they can't.
Chuck E. Cheese is like a
they're not allowed to.
Pee-wee boxing league for parents.
It's gotten into there because I think they serve beer and that might not be a good idea.
Have you seen the videos?
I've seen multiple videos.
Mad
these ignorant
videos.
Ass people fighting about all these kids.
It's like their own MMA league.
Bad, and that's not an argument for giving kids houses to party in.
People are gonna be people.
You just said that. I know that they're gonna try to do it, and I'm saying I understand that. I was part of that. I was part of that life.
What, a fight at Chuck E. Cheese?
No, partying in high school.
I can see you fighting at Chuck E. Cheese.
Random. I mean, it depends, man. If you're gonna,
maybe 10 years ago.
It depends on what you don't know. You push my kid, especially if your kid's beating on my kid, you ain't doing shit about it. It's like, what if I whooped your ass like that? So I'm saying that just because that happens, that's not a good argument for there to be some sort of party house. Just because the kid, they do and they have historically, I've been part of it. I've had great times. We actually had fucking the party lifeguard that you're talking about. So let me say this without getting anybody in trouble. But when I was in high school, there was a house, a friend's house, of a person, adults that everybody knew. And in the morning, those parents would make us coffee and fucking we'd go to that house and we get fucked up in the basement and stuff like that. And it was very controlled, like you're saying.
I think if we don't turn this into a service, we need to make a movie called Party Lifeguard.
But I'm not saying, I'm saying it shouldn't be like a regular thing. Like me experiencing that with that person and their family, I think shouldn't be a regular thing because not everybody can handle that.
Yeah.
You know, if that was a regular thing, there'd be thousands of kids at that fucking house and they're doing like all sorts of crazy
Every
shit.
year there's that party.
Not at one house, right? And I'm saying that if that's the case, then they can go find that, go be that, go root that out, and go do that. That's part of growing up. Sometimes, is finding a way to like skirt the law a little bit. You shouldn't make that a fucking like regular ass thing for everybody. So it shouldn't be part of like culture, dog.
I think so. It already is low key. It already is.
Keep it low key though.
I don't like that.
And again, I experienced.
To me, that's hypocritical. If it's gonna happen.
Why?
Then we should be there to.
How is that hypocritical?
It's like you're not
because I experienced it, but I don't want it to happen as a regular thing.
Because we know it's going to happen, so why not be more accepting of it by having places? I mean, there's always that cool parent that's going to happen anyway, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's so many ways I can go with this.
You can go any way you want with it, but we have to at least agree that. The party is going to happen. The crazy party at high school is going to happen. We agree that it's social currency. It makes you the man or woman talk of the school when you throw the hot party. It's a commodity.
Yes.
It's something kids do.
Yes.
If they're going to play basketball, if they're going to buy nice clothes, nice shoes, they're going to party. Because it's social interaction.
No, it's human. You're a human person, and you're part of society, and you want to get big. You want to do your thing.
You've been to a teen club. Same thing.
Never been to a teen club, but
you never been to a teen club.
Well, when I was a teen, I was in the club, like because of where I was.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like I never been to a teen, but I know what you're talking about.
It's an American thing, then.
No, I know. I know. I'm just saying, me personally, I never been to like a teen dance or like I was drinking martinis when I was fucking 16.
The teen night is way better with a little weed and alcohol.
From the chaperone's point of mind too.
It's always better.
From the over 21 chaperone too. He's over there like
party lifeguard.
All right, let's go. Hey, 6 inches. Get away. Get away.
That is too much cocaine for you. I'm saying that the too much cocaine line.
But listen,
is what they're there for.
What I don't think it should be the norm. I don't think it should be. I think part of it. I think the reason I disagree with it, partly, aside from like whether it's wrong or right, is that it's almost like a rite of passage for you to like, yo, there was a party at so and so's house. Don't tell their parents are gone, so we're gonna blah blah blah. We're gonna go have a good time, instead of like.
That's what's hypocritical to me.
Regulating it or something, you know what I mean? There's part of it where it's an actual life event where I had this wild party and then the cops came, we had to go. You know what I mean? Aside, if you're not doing that, it's just like lowering the drinking age or something. That's essentially all you're doing.
So you agree that like we need that in society? We need shit that that is bad. Or it's like having drug laws. Like,
what are you talking about? What do I mean? I agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't.
I know you don't agree.
All you're saying is lowering the drinking age and making.
No, you don't. I know you don't agree with the community houses where kids can throw parties,
right?
But you agree that that's part of growing up.
It is very much so.
It's part of like. So why not be more open-minded as a society? Instead of like having that be a rite of passage. That's what I'm saying about high school minds. These are like such like
first of all
for an adult to
first of all, you shouldn't be getting fucked up at 15, 16.
You're gonna do it anyway.
You keep saying that, but people rape anyway, steal anyway, do shit anyway.
Different. We know that's absolutely
no, it's
wrong.
Literally wrong, but this is wrong for you and your body.
It's not. It's okay though.
No, it's not. It's
people.
Of this is bad stuff. This is terrible shit.
No, it's not.
This is terrible fucking shit.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
In moderation.
It's literally poison.
It's moderation.
It is moderation. That's why I can sip on it and still live. But if I start when I'm 15 and I make it a consistent thing because it's solely legal, I can just walk down the street and do it.
You do anything more than a consistent and you turn that into a habit, it's bad for you. Anything.
No.
Yes.
No, if you overindulge in anything.
Yes.
But if you're consistent with something, doesn't necessarily make it bad.
I said more than consistent and it becomes a habit.
That's what you mean by more consistent. You mean a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it becomes more than consistent. Just more than consistent.
I know, that's not what that means. Right.
It becomes a habit.
More than consistent becomes a habit. Consistent is a habit.
No, but I'm saying like it. Or
I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to say what the words you said weren't the correct. I understand what you're saying.
I had a high moment there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is because they're going to do it anyway.
Overindulging anything is bad. And because they're doing it anyway, just let it happen.
Be part of it.
Be part of it and make it safe.
Europeans let the kids drink.
Again, all that is doing is lowering the drinking age.
We got to get rid of the taboo aspect of it. That way, kids don't get locked into the stupid high school mind that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. All this mindset, adults looking down at kids like, don't drink, kids. We know you're going to fucking drink.
No, for sure.
We know you're going to smoke.
For
us
sure.
being hypocritical on the adult side make us look like high school kids. It's a high school simple mentality.
A little bit, yeah. I agree with that.
And that's what's fucked up with the world.
Maybe part of it, but like,
that's why kids grow up to be hypocrites, and they grow up to be for sure.
No, maybe
that's what happens.
Not everybody. You're talking kind of blanket statements, so maybe sometimes for sure. But it shouldn't be a look. Hey, listen. I understand you're gonna get drunk, and I understand you're gonna smoke weed or try to do ecstasy. But if you do,
Here's some ecstasy. Do it with me.
No, you didn't say that. You want to go to some fucking house down the street and like have a lifeguard.
No, I did say that. Have a house that we could all party at. And there's a party lifeguard there.
There's a big difference between
society has
my
evolved.
Son getting fucked up at the house with me. Not with me, but like in the house.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna stop by the party, make sure they got the good drugs.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
you're crazy.
Because I can pick up the drugs from the pharmacy now.
Bro, you're lost in the world if you think that's a good idea.
That's
to have
a
a bunch
great
of teenagers
idea.
up in a house somewhere getting.
They're gonna do it anyway.
Again, it's a bad thing.
If they want to do
it's a bad thing.
If you want to go swimming, let me teach you how to swim.
Every time I was 16 years old and I smoked a cigarette or smoked weed, it wasn't like a positive thing.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was.
You had a great time.
That doesn't mean it was good for me.
It was.
It wasn't good for me.
It was a good experience.
It was a great experience.
It turned you into the man you are today.
It brought me from there to here. I'd be a better person if I didn't drink and put any poison
that's arguable.
Or sugar or goddamn cigarette smoke or unprotected sex or goddamn...
That doesn't make you a better or worse person.
Like, not like as a soul-wise or something like that, but like healthy and physically, yes, it does.
That's arguable.
No, it's not, bro.
Yeah, it is.
If I don't put poison in my body's better. There's no argument about that.
Sometimes you need a little bacteria so your body is able to fight it and become stronger.
You're talking about something other than
bacteria is
poison.
bad.
Poison, Peens. It's
no,
poison.
Wine is not poison.
We're not talking about wine. We're not talking about a glass of red wine because it has polyphenols and it makes your...
Ecstasy is not poison.
Ecstasy is poison.
No, it's not.
You're talking about pure MDMA.
Mushrooms is not poison.
Okay, I'll give you that. If you're poisoning your
weed,
body...
mushrooms, wine...
Smoking weed is bad for you.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Smoking weed is bad for you, Peens.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
you're burning something and putting it inside of you.
It's good for you.
No.
It's good
Cannabinoids are good for you. Cannabinoids are good for you.
Yeah.
Burning them and inhaling them is bad for you. You're benefiting partly with some of the stuff with anxiety and
but it's still good for you.
Has good parts of it, but it's bad for you because I guarantee
everything.
The inside of your goddamn lungs looks like this ashtray.
Nah.
That's bad.
I've actually had my lungs
tar.
They look fine.
With fucking tar and shit like that.
No, because I smoke good weed and I smoke it out of paper.
Doesn't matter. It's still
it does. That's still like there's actually clean lungs from smoking weed.
No, you don't have clean lungs from smoking weed. It's better than cigarettes. Yes, obviously.
People have clean lungs from smoking weed.
Nah, bro. Listen.
Yes. You want me to Google it?
Sure, go ahead. Absolutely. Do you have clean lungs after smoking weed for 30 years? Yeah. That's what I want to know. And then we can go on and talk about how we shouldn't have a bunch of fucking kids in a neighborhood somewhere, 20 kids at a house party regulated so they can fucking do X
you section
and crack.
It off. Tommy throws his party this weekend. Melissa
lost.
Throws her party next weekend.
You're lost, bro. There you go. Will smoking weed damage my lungs?
Doctor fucking...
Okay. So you don't
Thank
agree?
you guys for hanging out with us here at Let's Talk About Cannabis, or learning about weed, its effects, and everything that has to do with your life. My name is Edgar from the New Guy.
They don't even show you the dislike. There's not proper Discord there. They turned that off.
I would love to hear somebody say burning something and causing a carcinogen to go inside of your body isn't bad for your lungs.
But also for the lung, it's the most important risk factor for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. COPD causes it causes over 3 million deaths per year worldwide. It also is the most important cause of lung cancer. Now, all cancers represent about the second most common cause of death.
Let's just throw it up on Google.
Can't believe we're actually seeing if smoke is bad for your lungs. That's hilarious. I don't even understand how you don't understand that, bro. It's physics. It's not even like anything other than that. It's fire.
Well, because they've done some studies and it actually.
Show me, bro. Like literally smoke inside the lungs, Beans.
Because I wasn't prepared because we're talking about like.
And you look
Project
at anything,
X
you burn
parties
anything.
and parent murder.
Yo. Here you go. Here's one that says moderate consumption doesn't adversely affect lung function. So
Case
it says,
closed.
So it says so it says what you say, right? Click it. I bet it isn't the case.
We'll just agree to disagree.
Okay.
But we definitely need community house parties with party lifeguards.
There's several reasons why we don't. You know what I mean? And one of them is rite of passage. That's just regular shit. That like it's like you take a big part of like being
if they would have had
a
one
rule breaker out of your fucking repertoire instead of just giving them the pass.
Yeah.
You know,
when you get rid of that high school mentality.
How is that high school mentality?
It's high school mentality.
You just said it again. How is it high school mentality? How?
Because of the way it's an immature, not open-minded way of looking at it. You're just adding the fact that like, oh, this is bad and evil, and considering the fact that kids are going to do it anyway, why shouldn't you be proactive and being part of the problem instead of being against the problem?
So that has nothing to do with making a house.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You're adding a place.
No, this is a whole nother thing. The part that you said makes perfect sense. In my house, with my kid.
Right.
Me and him.
But they're going to go to a party anyway.
Maybe, maybe not. Not every kid parties.
Most likely.
No, bro. Not every. I don't know. I mean, not every kid parties.
I think at least you're going to go to one party.
Not necessarily, bro. But sure. Probably.
American kids. Maybe if you're born in
that has nothing to do with. No, it has nothing to do with that. Like people party. I got you. I get that. I'm conceding that. But some kids don't want to party. You know, some kids
because they're what like.
Because they're not
handicapped?
In the parties. No, because they're not in the parties.
Just trying to think of all the scenarios of why you want to go to a party.
Because
handicapped, you're
people
a midget,
don't like a bunch of people. Some
you don't
people
speak. Maybe you have Asperger's.
It doesn't have to be a bad thing to not want to party.
Asperger's is a bad thing?
No, all the other things you said were things that are negative.
Being mentally retarded is a bad thing?
It's not a positive.
That's arguable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a kid, you want him to be mentally retarded?
I don't want him, but if they
Why
are...
not? Why don't you want him to be?
If they are...
Why don't you want him to be, Peens?
Because the way people are going to judge...
Only because the people are how he's going to be judged.
Basically, yeah.
That's the only reason
Society's
you would not... So if society was fine with the way... And they are, ultimately... You'd be fine with it.
You get a job.
You'd be totally fine with it.
You get a job at Walmart.
You'd be totally fine with it.
You get a job at Walmart.
You're lying, Peens.
You get a job at Walmart.
Second time today you lied to me.
You're going to get a job at Walmart.
Second time today you lied to me.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, you are. You're trying to win an argument by lying.
I don't want a retarded kid.
Why
if
not?
I had a retarded
Only because he's being judged.
I would want the world to be more accepting.
Only because he's being judged.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
You're lying.
I would throw like a mongoloid Down syndrome face on Vanity Fair or something. If we could throw Caitlyn Jenner on Vanity Fair, we should find like a Down syndrome child to throw up there and start breaking these social norms like Lizzo.
I mean, what you're saying now is totally away from the conversation we're having.
No, like I don't want a retarded kid or a Down syndrome kid, but if I had one, I would want the world to be more accepting.
You're not saying anything that's wrong there in that moment. Again, separate from the thing you said before, and now we're talking about a separate thing. What I'm going to say to you is you're lying if you're saying the only reason you don't want a mentally challenged kid, the only reason you don't is because of the way other people will react. That's a lie.
No, that's a big part of it. That's not the only part, but that's a big part of it. It's like
change a little bit.
Social, like, oh, damn, I got this kid that I got to take everywhere. And he's like, and people are going to look at me and shit.
So, again, because of the way other people.
Yeah. You don't think parents with disabled kids worry about what other people think?
I didn't say they didn't. I'm saying to you, if you're saying to me the only reason you wouldn't want that is because of how other people react, then you're lying.
I just said that's not the only reason, but it's a big reason.
Okay, what's the other reason?
It's not like socially
back to what other people think. Is that the only reason? What the other people think?
Basically, I think so.
That's not true.
Yeah.
The only reason. Because first you said that's not the only reason, but it is the only reason.
I'm sure I can find other reasons, but that's one of the biggest reasons.
What's another reason?
They're not like socially accepted.
Okay, what's another reason?
They're handicapped. They're not going to be able to like do stuff for themselves and stuff.
Is that good or bad?
That's a bad thing.
That's what I fucking said.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that worse on top of that is the way society looks at it.
That's not what I was arguing about.
It's like,
no, all right, I'm good.
30 years ago, you could probably throw mental retardation. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you could throw gays and mental retardation all in the same thing. We evolved as a people. We became more accepting.
You're changing the argument.
I'm trying to say that the way society looks at it.
Because you were saying
now
that
the gay thing is completely cool.
I know
it's great to have a gay kid,
but you're saying you think mental retardation is bad. I was like,
once we get an Asperger's kid that's throwing like a fucking crazy ass.
But again, this is a different argument. What are you talking about now?
He becomes Michael Jordan.
You're just trying to be.
It's more accepting. It's okay. It's the way society accepts it.
You're right, Peens.
Let's see how Kimberly feels about it.
Happy New Year, Bod Thai boys. We are back.
Bok Thai?
Y'all want to talk about
she was trying to be
parties.
Jamaican there.
I am talking beer.
Botty boys?
Hope this one gets Facebook likes. They say boys just want to have fun.
Oh boy.
Or is that girls? Well, anyway. Let's talk. The murders of Blake and Mary Jo Hadley occurred on July 16, 2011, in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh, Port
Tyler
St.
Hadley,
Lucie.
their son, was convicted of the murder.
Was I on the wrong side? No, I was on the right side.
That's right side. I knew a young lady from Port St. Lucie.
Cell phones.
She was cool.
He took 3 pills of ecstasy and then went to stand behind his mother, Mary Jo, while she worked at the family computer for 5 minutes. He then began to beat her to death with a hammer.
Oh my God.
Hearing Mary Jo's screams,
how terrible was that on
emerged
X?
from the bedroom and rushed to the scene and saw Tyler. They stared at each other for several moments before he beat his father to death. He spent 3 hours cleaning up the blood before hosting a party. He hid their bodies in the master bedroom. Sometime after the murders, Tyler made a Facebook post letting people know that he was having a party that night. He then stopped at an ATM and then picked up some friends. About 60 people gathered for the party, playing beer pong, smoking cigars and drinking. That night, Tyler told his best friend, Michael Mandel, that he bludgeoned his parents with a hammer. He showed Michael the master bedroom and the blood that was in the room. After processing what had happened, Michael took a picture with Tyler, thinking he was never going to see him again. News of the crime was then spread by word of mouth. Hadley was arrested early the next morning. During his teenage years, Tyler began skipping school and taking drugs. He had mental health problems. His parents took him to a psychiatrist in an outpatient mental health and substance abuse program. Tyler was 17 and could not be sentenced to death by Florida law. In 2014, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. In April 2016, his sentencing was overturned by an appeal judge who stated the lower court did not consider the correct alternative to a life sentence. In December 2018, Hadley was resentenced to life in prison, but this time with the possibility of parole. Hadley is currently imprisoned in the Okeechobee Correctional Institution. After a year of not being able to sell, on April 2015, the Hadley house was demolished.
Wow. What a terrible ending to that story.
I'm John Quinones. The teenage years can be rough. Parents setting limits, kids pushing back, challenging authority. It often becomes a tug of war over who's in charge. But as you're about to see, when the stakes are raised and teenage defiance is mixed with a toxic cocktail of drugs and alcohol, the consequences can be deadly. First, a battle of wills that turn to rage. And as Ryan Smith first reported in 2014, 2 murders that would shock a sleepy community.
Nestled on Florida's Treasure Coast, 40 miles north of West Palm Beach, sits Port St. Lucie, a city once designed for retirees, now teeming with working families.
Not the West Coast.
It is the East Coast. No. Yeah.
A maze of streets that all kind of wind together.
There's the sense on these empty streets that something's amiss. Even the street signs aren't quite right.
They didn't have time to spell all the street names correctly.
Growing up here is a modest sort of happiness
Florida.
For a kid.
Oh man, that's close enough.
That gets old.
Every teenager complained about how boring it was in Port St. Lucie. The only thing to do is drink and get high.
That's places like this that don't have like a Disney World or like a theme park. They need some social houses.
What are you talking about, man?
Port St. Lucie.
No, I know exactly.
Not Miami. It's not Orlando. It's definitely not Jacksonville.
Is Jacksonville popping like that?
I mean, don't you have like, it's a city.
Is it popping like that?
It's a big city.
Okay.
It's like a downtown.
I've never once
There's
in my
nothing,
life wanted to
there's
go to
nothing
Jacksonville.
to do in Port St. Lucie except get high and party.
Or read a
Give
book.
these kids some houses.
Play some sports or something. Read a book. Go to the pool.
Yeah, that's during the
Ride a bike.
day.
You know what I'm saying?
We party. That's what we are, bro.
No, we do. I got you. But do we need several empty houses, like some sort of vacant bum lot, to just get
No,
fucked up
see,
in?
you think of it as like just a piece of. No, you have to upkeep the houses, and there would be people that run it. Like it'd be like an admission charge or a donation to keep up with the house and stuff. But padded walls, extra toilets so you can throw up. Just well thought of.
It's not well thought out at all.
It is.
It isn't.
Because
It is
kids
not.
are gonna do
You
it
literally
anyway.
just thought of it.
You would be great to build the house. All the times you've been drunk, all the places. Like I woke up in that corner.
No, for sure.
Let's put a pillow right there
For
because
sure.
you could possibly pass out in that corner.
Every time it happened, it shouldn't have happened.
But it did, and it
It
made
did.
you the man you
It made
are.
me the man I am today.
It's incredible,
And I still
incredible
drink,
stories.
And I still have a good time.
Yes.
But I got very lucky several times. I had friends like you to pick me up, carry me, put me places. I didn't.
And we were in our 20s. That's what I'm saying. If
in
you
our
were in your
20s.
teens,
No. Didn't make it any better. I was 15 years old drinking, stuff like that too.
yeah.
If someone had made it seem like it was totally fine to get obliterated all the time,
You probably only got drunk.
what are you talking about?
When it's so sociably accepted and it's no longer a
I was in a place
taboo.
where it was. I'm talking about getting fucked up, teens. I'm not talking about like drinking some beers and shit like that. I'm talking about things that are happening at this place you're talking about. Places
There'll
where
be
you can.
moderation.
No, you
There'll
said
be
there's
signs. There'll be
No,
like moderate
you literally
your life,
just said padded rooms and fucking places you can throw up in.
just in case.
Yeah, because you're getting fucked. It's not. No, if it's a rite of passage, bro. There's a reason the age is what it is. There's no great age to do it. There's no like right age. They just pick 21.
I'll give
They
you a
just pick
great
18.
example. You get a trampoline in your backyard.
I got one.
Then some guy decides to rent a warehouse out and put trampolines everywhere. People are going to trampoline. I might as well build a trampoline place.
Whoa, what a horrible example. You
That's
said
a
that was
great
going to be a great example.
That was a great example. You're seeing something that kids do all the time, and now you're providing a platform, a place, a service.
No, it's trampoline and doing heroin intravenously.
No, heroin's not a party drug. You're going to be passed out in a corner.
What party you talking about?
Alcohol, cocaine, ecstasy, maybe not even cocaine.
I've been to parties with motherfuckers on heroin.
Ecstasy, mushrooms,
Ketamine.
weed.
I almost punched somebody in his face because he grabbed my girl's ass. He was on ketamine.
Yeah, we
In a
gotta
K-hole.
stay away from certain drugs, but you can throw some ecstasy in there.
Your argument's getting kind of wavy, bro. Remember that whole like
Let's
all
go-
drugs are
let-
fine?
Let's just go back to having a house where you can safely consume alcohol as a young kid.
So we're leaving it to alcohol.
Maybe.
I will be totally fine with a place where you have some sort of library card where you can come in and be like, nah, you came in last week. You already had 2 beers or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you can like tiptoe into Drinkinsville.
It's arguable that alcohol is worse than you than any of those other drugs.
No, alcohol is a lot worse than a lot of those drugs.
Yeah, that's
but we're not talking. But that's when you talk about.
I think if it's
that's when you
pure-
talk about
if you
extended
had, like-
drinking with
if you
cirrhosis,
had- listen.
or you talk about drinking and
Listen.
driving. That's what
Listen.
makes that shit so
if
bad.
you had one of those like MDMA drips, you walk in and just get pure MDMA, that'd be okay.
No such thing as
There's
pure
no
MDMA.
there's no side effects.
There's no more pure MDMA, by the way.
because it's illegal.
Oh, okay. Now we're back to making the drugs legal, right?
This
but then
is
you
future
kind of a
hypothetical,
wavy arguments going.
future hypothetical.
Now we're back to everything.
Hypothetical future.
It's hard to have a debate though when the thing keeps going like this. We gotta keep it consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just need a place.
Nah, man.
Port
No.
St. Lucie.
If you're talking about like just getting into maybe having, getting responsible with alcohol, there's a place, having a place like that is
Maybe it'll be
totally
like
fine.
a scout parent badge. You know what I mean? Like You get the alcohol badge and the ecstasy badge and the weed badge.
I think you should keep those things the place you have them, right? And just like everybody else in the world has, you should, figure out ways
to get a scout badge,
to get into
if
you really want to do that.
It's like the
it's
hierarchy of inebriation.
It's supposed to be hard to get.
Start at cigarettes, which you never should do, and move up to like a beer.
Definitely don't
smoke
cigarettes.
Smoke a joint.
Don't be a dumbass.
Get some ecstasy.
See, it's supposed to be
Vicodin.
It's supposed to be hard to get, man. It's supposed to be like you're supposed to be like go meeting your drug dealer.
It's never hard to get as a kid.
Yeah,
drugs
sure
are readily available.
Nah, I mean, it depends on your circles. Of course, it's hard to get to some people.
Maybe.
No, actually, for sure. Some people just aren't in those circles, dog. That's why you get those silly motherfuckers going to the wrong part of the town because they don't know where else to get that shit. So they're gonna go up to the first black person they see and be like, "Yo, I was in Cancun in 2001 with my two friends. Okay, we're in the room. We got the window open, chilling. Group of fucking Akron, Ohio's walk by. Fucking East Michigan, whatever the fucks, walk by. One of the pretty little blonde girls walks up to us in our room and says, I don't want to be racist, right? But do you guys know where the weed's at?
Did you guys know?
No.
That's fucked up. Well, what if you did know?
It'd be a coincidence.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just a coincidence. We would
know. I get if it was racist, but what if she really came across that weed?
No, she really wanted weed.
Right.
I'm not saying she didn't want weed. Those kids that are going to random black dude on the corner really want
You don't think
crack.
That's brave of her?
No. It's stupid. It's ignorant. And
on your side of the fence, of course.
No, in general, you don't walk up to a random person and ask for drugs.
I think she had the most balls in that group.
She definitely did. That doesn't make her smart.
No, nobody said she's smart.
No. Oh, you said brave. You said brave.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
No, brave. To me, bravery is like in the course of doing something good.
Like a backflip off a motorcycle?
No, it was brave to try to save that kid from that train that almost hit him.
Oh, okay.
If I did a backflip off a motorcycle, I'd be a fucking moron. Or like an adventure junkie or something with more of a negative tinge to it. Not like brave, Bravery, I think, should be kept for people that
heroic.
It's not brave.
Yeah,
so that's kind of what threw me off.
Minus the baseball.
But yeah, sure, it was ballsy over her to walk up to 3 random black dudes and be like, "Hey, y'all got weed?"
Yeah,
it's still fucked up. You know what I mean? But because not everybody,
regardless, is fucked up.
No,
but stereotype is. But
the point being is that it's not easy for everybody to get drugs, so they get pushed to doing random dumb shit like going to the wrong part of town. So not everybody can get drugs. You know what I mean?
So crackers don't have the plug,
huh? It's a socioeconomic thing. Has nothing to do with if your dad's.
I love when your face turns into like you've just been smelling shit. What was that smell?
Huh? But I think part of it is that experience. Her stupid ass walking up to us and my friend cussing her out for being a person that shouldn't have been doing that. I think it's part of the just the ultimate experience of being a human being and being a growing up. I've been in some odd ass situations trying to get weed. You know what I mean? And it is what it is.
Who did you ask?
Who did I ask? Oh, right. I mean, I've walked with random people. I've been in so many different situations where I'm just like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Where's the bag at? But still like waiting. Like, oh, this is bad. Let me just. Probably coming in a second. Like, just a lot. There's a lot of stories about just waiting to get stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's part of growing up. It's a rite of passage. It's coming of age. It teaches you how to like really think fast and negotiate.
They're Jedi.
They're not good things. Again, none of this is good. Those situations I was in, not good situations. Like, if there's not some shit you can bring your mom to, you probably
I could.
right. There, again, it just depends on who you are. That's why it's easier for some people to get drugs and harder for others. It's just I don't think it should be I don't think everybody in the world growing up should have access to that type of shit. I don't think so. I don't think it's good. I think a certain segment of the population should be more experienced. A certain segment of the population should be a little less experienced, and a certain segment, you know, there should just be that. If everybody can just get as high as they want, as fucking fucked up as they want,
great place.
I don't think so, man. Because I think people, especially children, can't control that shit. They don't know. That's why this little girl over here will buy 2 pounds of fucking Airheads and eat them shits all in one sitting. That's terrible.
Yeah.
She would do the. She wouldn't, because I love a person that young would maybe do the same thing if they kept. You said an intravenous MDMA drip. Just be like, that's horrible, Beans. There's
Not for a night of partying.
No, that's terrible.
Show up there with your soft serve cup. Get a little MDMA.
If you found your way to a party like that as a 15, 16-year-old and you had you a wild night, okay. But
Drop it in my eye.
But if you could come back, tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after, you can.
No, it's every weekend.
Whatever it is, if it's regulated and regular, it ain't good. I don't think so. Shouldn't do it.
I do.
I think part of it should. I think
it's like living in Colorado, like Boulder, and going to like the indoor mountain climbing thing. You got mountains all outside, but you're gonna come inside because it's convenient and it's regulated.
No. Again, you're talking about
a membership
fucking
for your
climbing
kid.
mountains and trampolines. I'm talking about heroin and MDMA drips.
I'm not talking about heroin. I'm talking about MDMA drips,
Right.
some weed.
Yeah.
And you have to like control your alcohol. Then you get the alcohol badge. Control your weed. You know how to roll the joint properly.
Ridiculous.
Stick to steam. You know what sativa indica is. You need to practice all that shit. Then you get the weed badge. You take some ecstasy. You call your parents like, I love you. You guys are the best parents. Thank you for creating me. I feel in touch with Earth. I seen little diamond people, children. When I took DMT, get the DMT badge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way that should be a thing. Like where kids can do that shit.
Like a drug scout.
No way, man. You got to roll. If that's something
boys
you
and
want to
girls
do,
drug scouts of
again,
America.
not everybody wants to do that shit. There's a large segment of the population that just doesn't.
Not everybody wants to climb mountains inside of a
party,
building.
They want to go to parties. They want to smoke weed, cigarette, none of that shit. They want to drink tea and talk about their future or something like that. You know what I mean? And some of those kids may fall victim to like overindulging and becoming.
They're going to do that anyway.
Not necessarily, man.
I think
all
so.
About the experiences you have in life and like what you're exposed to and how you're exposed to.
Yeah, if you're genetically disposed to being addicted to things, then yeah, you would have to be more careful.
I think everybody has to if it's just so regularly available.
I don't think it would be that much of a thing. If it was regularly available, it wouldn't be that much of a thing.
You know, how dumb does that sound? I don't think it'd be that much of a thing.
I don't think so.
I don't think, 3-4 houses in the neighborhood where 15 to 18-year-olds could just come through and get super fucked up. All they kind of wanted every weekend, and they get merit badges. That wouldn't be a thing. That wouldn't be a thing. Nah, not that big of a thing. You're right. I don't think so.
You could prevent parent murder.
No, he took pills before he killed his mom. Motherfuckers
have parties.
And it's a party that happened here that no one will ever forget.
Now you're looking live at the Port St. Lucie home where police say a 17-year-old boy killed his parents, a drug-addicted teenager who just wanted to...
Oh!
At his house, only 2 people didn't show up, mom and dad.
They hit him with the drug
They were
addicted.
locked in the bedroom. Dead.
The million-dollar question is why? Tyler, they say you murdered your parents.
A 17-year-old killing his parents.
Damn, bro.
An event that left a confused community looking to its teenagers for answers about high school senior Tyler Hadley.
Well, you know you're in bad shape. You know you're in bad shape when you're looking to the teenagers for answers. Break it down for me, teenager.
I'm tired of them going out late and getting drunk.
They got more strict. His mom took his phone away.
And he said he hated him.
Something.
You got murdered because the phone got taken away. Damn.
Like teenagers say.
It's definitely something that really upset him.
Everybody has like sick jokes, so he just thought it was like a sick joke.
But what turns a teenager's sick joke into a sickening reality? We go inside the investigation into what made a Boy Scout turn into a teenager who did the unthinkable. Mike Mandel has known Tyler since they were both 8 years old. He lived just a block away. So you know his parents.
Absolutely.
What were they like?
They seemed like great parents to me. You know, every time I come over, if his mom was making something to eat, she'd say, "Hey, Mike, you want some of this? You know, how's it going?"
That kid looks like Bubby.
That motherfucker used to get big high with that dude. He used to roll fatties with that motherfucker.
How did Tyler feel about his parents?
He loved them.
This is Blake and Mary Jo, forever in our hearts.
Blake and Mary Jo Hadley thought sunny Port St. Lucie was the perfect place to raise their children.
Yo, I hate to do this, but his dad was a bigger guy. He must have went into shock.
Oh, right. That's his dad. Holy shit. Dude's, he must have been like standing completely still because that guy's got fucking, 100 pounds on him or something?
Yeah.
Who knows when this picture was taken? Because the kid who they pulled out the car was kind of he was bigger than that.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. It's crazy.
2 boys.
Mary Jo, she was a school teacher, great school teacher. And she loved kids so much, she dedicated her life to her two boys she had.
His family says Blake loved his job at a local power plant, but his passion was his sons, the baby, Tyler, and Ryan, 6 years older.
What was Blake like with the boys?
He had a ball with them. He loved them.
And in the beginning, Tyler seemed to be a happy little boy, celebrating birthdays and holidays with his family.
He was constantly hugging his mom. I mean, constantly. He was an affectionate kid.
I just remember him always being a funny kid. He had a really quick sense of humor. Yeah. And you never know what would come out of his mouth.
Yeah. In a good way?
Sometimes.
It was a quality that drew Mike to Tyler.
Just walking around trying to find a friend and stumbled upon Tyler, and he slowly became a best friend.
Over time, Tyler began opening up, sharing with Mike his secrets and his insecurities.
He a lot of times bashed himself and said he wasn't good enough. He just always thought someone was better than him.
But what started as a kid's self-doubt turned into a teenager's anger.
He started skipping school, hanging out with the wrong crowd, getting on drugs. That's just things he was starting to do.
You gotta get that early.
It's always the fucking wrong crowd. It's all their fault.
It's part of it.
They started to steal. And they said, just hide your purse. I thought it was one of those teenage things.
There were some neighbors who thought he was trouble. He
I definitely stole a lot when I was little.
The forest preserve near his house on fire. And he siphoned gasoline from the nearest gas station once.
Tyler's parents started crack.
How do you do that?
You got to create suction. You put a hose in, you create suction, it comes out. So
you can do that from a gas station?
Do it from anything that has gas in it. Oh yeah, how would we do it from the pump? We figured it out.
Down. How did they discipline him?
They really did everything possible as far as taking away the cell phone, bits and pieces of freedom that children really, cherish at that age. They didn't just abandon him and just let him run in the streets like he wanted to. They tried to rein him in.
But Tyler pushed back, continuing to defy his parents.
He didn't like following any rules. He liked going out, doing drugs. And then his parents caught on. He was already comfortable living that way, and he didn't want anyone to change it.
Nancy Grace has followed this case.
They were beginning to discipline him more and more. And by that, I don't mean take him out to the woodshed and give him a spanking. Yeah. They would take away privileges. Well, Hadley would have none of that.
I mean,
his frustration.
Like that's part of what happens. I think as a parent, you got to try to figure out what the pressure point. You know what I mean? However it works. But early on, I think training is important, and I
think that maybe they just would take it away and wouldn't talk to them. Like, hey, 'cause I noticed you do that a lot with your kids. It's not just like an action. Yeah. There's also an explanation behind the action. Like, hey, you know why I'm taking this shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying not to make this I'm a good parent, they're a bad parent thing, because I'm not.
Nah, it's an understanding.
But, I'm saying that that those people, who knows how they handle it. But I think it's right, or that happens a lot as a parent, is to
loss
take
of
away
communication.
Take away freedom is what I'm saying. And then you got to communicate why you're taking away the freedom. But the thing that, like she just said, and I ain't talking about taking back to the woodshed and blah, blah. I think a part of the thing that this generation or whatever has, that's why I asked how old he was, born in the 90s or whatever. At a certain point, I forgot when this happened exactly, but there were kids suing the parents.
Yeah.
Right? For certain things.
I remember in the 90s, what's it called? There's a term when you're...
Emancipation.
Yeah. That was a thing.
Yeah, where you could, like, sue your parent, but...
And become your own guardian.
And I think... And not just the emancipation part of it, but I think the part where basically we stop hitting the kids, where we stop, like, training, because that's what it was. Somebody does something so bad that you got that fire fucking licked out of you, and you're like, oh, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think people stop doing that, because it always gets me where they're like, oh, I can't control them, and I can understand that now, maybe like 16, 17, 18, because they're literally like, it's harder to control. But they're still, I feel like, and this is a military 80s baby in me, because this is how I was disciplined. I was whooped. Like whooped with belts and stripped down.
Yeah, so was I.
And fucking like positioned in the correct way, move your hand type shit.
Yeah.
We're getting this
and that's
going.
why I would never think of doing something. Maybe that beating is important.
I think there's a and it sucks to say it like this, but there's a fear, you know? And I think there has to be that, the same reason you can't just have a house where there's a bunch of people going crazy and they're fucking like, there has to be that
you got to be able to beat your kids a little bit.
Not beat is the wrong word, because beating, like if I got in a fight with somebody that was attacking me, I'd beat them. Like I'm beating them. With a kid, at least to me, when you spank a child, it's more about the show, you know? I'm like, no. Even with, I hate to compare it to, but even with Marley, with my dog, I don't want to hit dogs, so I'll get real close to him and do it like that. See? Cosmo's like, whoa.
I do the same thing to
whoa.
him. Yeah.
And it's more like, you know what I mean? So there's that training of like, no, it seems like maybe, and again, I'm not trying to make this bad parent, good parent, but like, if he ain't got no fear, like,
oh shit, I never thought about that.
Don't come up on me like that, bro.
I never thought of it like
Even
that.
the other day, Kai didn't say thank you. No, I said thank you, and he said and I was like, I poked my head out the door. I was like, thank you, and he was like, So I walked down the hall and I walked up on him. I was like, thank you, and he was like, you're welcome, and I'm like, respect me, I'm gonna respect you. That's it. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna beat him up.
Not at that age, yeah.
And it kind of sucks that I have to use my size and intimidation. But again, I'm trying to train him to be respectful
yeah.
And say, you're welcome. Not, You know what I mean?
But does that, and I'm just looking at it, does that, and I don't know if it does or not, but does that make him feel like, I should only cower down with somebody who's bigger than me?
Maybe. There's a little bit of that in there. That's why you got to sort of like, you know what I mean? There's a balance there. I can't make every situation a physical confrontation.
Right.
I can't like overpower him with physical.
That's a delicate balance, man.
Of course, it's parenting. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make this a good parent, bad parent thing. It's just, there has to be, it's like a gumbo, man. There has to be a little bit of, he's kind of scared that I might smack the shit out of him if he doesn't. Like if he runs down the street doing drugs, smoking weed, blah, 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 shit that I did as a kid, which is, again, a balance. If he comes in high, there's a balance. I can, but I can't, act like...
Because you don't want him to run away and not tell you shit.
You know what I mean? There's a balance. But if you fuck up or if you're not you got to figure out, again, it's the pressure point. And in that moment, I wasn't going to take away his phone or whatever. In that moment, the pressure point was, I'm bigger than you. I've hit you before. It's been a long time, but if we need to go back to that place, it is what it is. Yeah. And again, the hit is like, it's more how angry, I've never broken the skin, or you don't never see any bruises on Kai or no shit like that. Not me. I had bruises on me.
Yeah.
I had some broken ass. I've been thrown across the room, but again, since I've experienced that and experienced a good version of it where I fucking smacked fire out of Daryl and he just pressed me over his head and I got that balance, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you learned.
Trying to and I do the same thing with my son. It's like there's that balance, but I see a lot of times in the store when you see some little kid going, no, fuck you, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ooh, somebody needs to like, you want me to like take him around the corner for 3 seconds? I'm not going to hurt him, but I guarantee when we come back, he's not going to be talking the same way he's talking, because there's going to be a little bit of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nah, I hate to say it too. It's the dog too. Like my mom or Ashley will get on to me the way I discipline him. Oh, he's only a dog. Well, no, he gets it.
Yeah, no.
He's got to feel it. He's got to understand the respect.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't want to hit my children. It's like, I'm not talking about hitting kids or beating children.
It's a discipline.
Yes.
It's not abusive. It's a discipline.
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
But like, nobody's hurting anybody really.
Yeah. Everybody has a different power dynamic. You know what my grandma used to do? She used to grab our pinky and squeeze it. And there was a little bit of comedy, but there was a little bit like, hey, you were gonna fucking respect me a little bit. Sure. You son of a bitch. That's what she used to
There's gotta be a little, I think there has to be a little bit of the same, like I said, the same way there needs to be not a free reigning drug free for all or whatever. There has to be a little bit of, and yeah, it's not our job, but our, as partiers, right? As kids who want to party, now my gig is to figure out how to do that in and around that. That comes of age. So now that I can either, so now
that's where I don't go.
No, but listen,
that's where I can't.
No, but listen, how else would you maintain? How would you else figure out how to maintain other than to not be fucked up in front of your parents? If you didn't have to like hide that, how would you figure out how to maintain?
I would sit them down at the table.
How would you figure out how to stop?
I would sit them down at the table. I would say, this is cocaine. This is beer. This is weed. This is heroin. This gets you high like it, whatever. This gets you drunk and this is. Now, you let me know which one you want to try. Anytime you want to try this, you come to me and I'll get it for you.
Right.
And we'll get high together. And I'm going to buy a house for you down the street.
Nah, you just added that last part. You just added that last part.
I'm going to talk to the local state representative about getting us some houses in this neighborhood.
See, I'm with you in the first part, dog. I'm not trying to put coke in front of my kid, but I hear that first part. I really do. I'm down for that. In the house. Bro, you guys, if everybody wants to drink, I don't want you to go out to this party and get fucked up for the first time and then be all like ass out, literally drunk, naked somewhere because you can't handle your shit. If you want to do it, bow. Let's hit it right here. We'll do it. You guys trying to smoke weed? No, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea at all. But like,
I know where the hookup is.
I'm literally growing CBD in the garage. You know what I mean? So like, I'd be a hypocrite, right? But here, you know what I mean?
And it can't interfere with your life.
Of course,
your life can't be, obliged to
and
like.
Again,
I can't function without weed.
You gotta you gotta keep that eye open. Like they said, he was already used to living that lifestyle. So by the time they like called him on it, he was already like used to it. So they missed a lot of like high moments. You know what I mean? I'm constantly like, when he comes out of the house, because he's 16. He's got a little freedom there. He's about to get his license. He's got friends that are crazy time, not crazy time, but he's got fun friends that do. He's went to the beach and come back before, shit like that. So doobies on the sand and all that bullshit, I just want to be involved as far as like knowing and talking and all of that, so that I don't have some sort of like closet fucking X pill head and
that you don't know about.
All of that shit. That's too, nah, man. We can't have that happening.
Yeah.
I don't want you down the street.
What about if they're really good at hiding it, though?
Well,
that's scary. The functional addict.
Well, there's a couple things on that, right? Functional addicts, a lot of times, aren't like hurting themselves as much. They're not like falling down out of the. They're, because it's not so obvious. They're not like. But I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it's better. It's better than the other thing, right? Where you're like skipping school all the time, blah blah. So that's the first point. Right? Is like, I guess I'd like that better than the other thing if I had to. And if they're hiding it, I'd be more concerned about the hiding it than the doing it in that moment, because my whole thing is like, I just want to be, like I said just now, I just want to be involved, like good, bad, whatever. Just tell me so I can help you. You know what I mean? That's all I want. And I'm not going to like judge you because, and in those moments, I've had conversations about what I have and haven't done to a point, because he's now that we're growing shit in the garage, he has questions about the difference. And I told him, I was like, honestly, if marijuana, like actual with THC in it, becomes legal, we're probably going to grow it in the garage, and I'm probably going to sell it if I'm allowed to. And he's like, makes sense. It's not that bad. Because we're talking about it. So that, again, that's just my personal child. But
yeah,
I just think here it seems like there was a little lack of fear.
There's something going on.
There was a lack of fear, because like killing your mom, wow. But then looking at this, like, I know Kyle looks at me, he doesn't look at an easy win or like someone he needs to rush.
Yeah.
At any rate, not even like joking, because he just doesn't, it seems like maybe there was no fear there. Gotta be a little fear.
Anger mounted.
By the time Tyler was 17, his parents were at their wits' end. They put him into an outpatient substance abuse program, but nothing changed.
He came home drunk one night, and he crawled through his window when his parents woke up. And then they took away his phone and his car. He felt that she was over-disciplining him, and he said he wanted to kill her.
Did it
See what I'm
sound
saying?
like he might actually do it?
That's something else, bro. That's something else.
Absolutely not.
And
No
Tyler's
accountability.
parents were-
There's like no accountability
Yeah,
there.
there's some premeditation there too.
Right, but like, aside from that, if that happened and then you're like, they took away they, there's no accountability. So that's like a separate thing from before. Like maybe he wasn't held accountable for breaking the dish when he was 10 or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make this a bad parent, good parent thing, because
Nah,
you can't. Well, it sounds like I'm judging a little bit. I'm not. I'm just saying.
We're trying to understand.
For sure.
Because it's such an anomaly for something like this to happen. Like, everybody argues with their parents. Everybody has a fight. But to bring it to this level, especially both parents, same night, and then throw a party afterwards.
Yeah, there's something really wrong with the cat, bro.
Keeping a closer eye on him, taking him to a family reunion in Georgia just 1 week before life would change forever.
We really enjoyed having him. He was very polite. I never saw Tyler lose his temper ever. That's what is so bizarre.
Posing for family pictures 1 minute, but plotting with his friends back home the next.
Well, he was texting his friends and telling them we're going to have a party when he got home. So he was planning it while he was up there.
And 3 days later, this ominous Facebook post. Party at my crib tonight. Maybe.
Tyler said he's going to have a party tonight. My parents are going to Orlando.
A friend Facebooked him, what about your parents? Are they going to come home in the middle of the party? And Hadley writes back, they won't. Trust me.
Yo, I would say, if Nancy Grace got murdered by her kids, I would kind of understand.
You would see it. You would understand.
A party at Tyler's house seemed odd with his parents now tightening the reins, but it was something else he said that really got Mike's attention. He tells you something about what he did the night before.
Yeah, he said he was contemplating murdering them that night while they were sleeping in their bed. He said he couldn't do it. He didn't have it in him.
And what did you think when he told you that?
I got a weird feeling in my stomach, but it's Tyler. There's no way he would do this.
Then, a few hours later, a second Facebook post. Party at my house. Hit me up.
So they
This
had
time,
already killed
there
him
was no
at that
maybe.
point.
Huh?
So he said, party at my crib, maybe, before he killed him. And then party at my house, hit me up after he killed him.
Trust me.
Well, trust me was like the first response to the part. Yikes, bro.
Tyler Hadley's house party was set.
He'd been bragging about it for days. He was going to have the party come hell or high water. And nothing and nobody was going to get in his way.
One of my friends had gone on Facebook and
Holy
seen
shit.
the
I knew a
One
dude
of my
just
friends,
like
this
that.
guy, it looks like he's 74.
Yeah, I knew a dude. That's that fucking Point St. Lucie drinking and smoking and shit in the crib. That's another thing.
How do you
have
look 40 in
unlimited-
high school?
That's another thing. If you have houses where motherfuckers can just smoke and drink, not all the time, but a lot, they're gonna age the fuck out of these kids.
Doesn't matter. He already looks aged.
Because he's drinking and smoking like that.
That's judgmental of you.
That's facts.
That's mad judgmental.
Facts only.
That's like saying he's black.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
calling
because
him black,
where he's from.
Calling him black would be, hey, that guy has dark skin. He's black.
No, like judging him for his skin is when I said it the wrong way, but judging him based on what he looks like.
He looks old as fuck.
This guy could take yerba mate every day. You don't know.
No, he doesn't. He does. I know he doesn't. Look at him. See those bags under his eyes? He takes cocaine every day.
Post about the party.
Everyone knew
sounds like a chain smoker.
And it really wasn't until the day of the party that people started to take him seriously. There was so little to do in Port St. Lucie that night that any teenager who heard about the party was going to check it out.
Around 9:30 p.m., Tyler picks up Mike and some other friends, and they head back to his house. Jesse DeRay is in the car.
When we were pulling up to Tyler's house, he said something.
These all these guys look like their first word at birth was six pack.
Real crazy. It's going to come out in the next week. Said, what do you mean? And he said, you'll find out.
Did you see any other family vehicles there?
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of strange that his mom's car was there too.
I asked him where his parents were. Told me they were in Georgia.
It was a free-for-all. Kids could smoke inside the house. They were drinking. Kids were bringing beer and pot and pills.
What's it like inside?
Young people drinking.
What's it like inside?
Sitting around.
It's a party!
Goldschlager! You remember Goldschlager?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
The weird thing was, most people in there, Tyler didn't even know. I didn't know. They were strangers.
You think he wanted to be known as having this huge party?
Maybe. That's the only thing that makes sense.
As the rowdy party rages on,
Bush.
a neighbor across the street makes a noise complaint.
I woke up to, squealing tires and kids hanging out of the car, yelling. So I did call 911.
Officers.
Hi, this is Sandy, the Butch Dyke neighbor from down the street. And I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a huge house party going on at the Hadley.
So I just learned that Butch isn't offensive, but Dyke may be. So I apologize for if anybody's offended by.
I'm sorry, I was just
Dyke.
describing. It was in a descriptive
it was
form.
Descriptive, but I'm doing the apology
So
ahead
that
of time before
so
we
that
get
the people that
the
don't see the
messages.
video and get to hear my soothing voice, they understand what the fuck she looked like.
She was kind of. Butch is. She was if she was lesbian,
She was
would be a
butchy.
Butch. I've just learned that today.
Yeah, butchy.
Yeah, okay.
Respond, but with no immediate cause for alarm, they leave the teens with a warning. When we come back,
Bro, what kind of terrible cops or awesome cops, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Like, because if they had all that shit going on in the house, cops showed up and they were like, nah, y'all are good. So that's, I guess, a good cop in that way.
Because they know about Port St. Lucie.
Because they know
They're
about
like,
partying
this
and
is
shit. Like,
typical.
everybody's
This is what
fine.
they-
Yeah, just turn it down. So that's cool of
We
them.
haven't
But
been
at
to
the
this
same
house
time,
yet.
if they had been a little more inquisitive, where's your parents at? They might have discovered the bodies a little earlier.
It was. I mean, he buried them under a whole bunch of shit. So you
No,
walked in.
he put shit on top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of
Well,
work
yeah.
to get it.
He just
Again,
threw shit.
where's your parents? See a little
under all that shit in the
a
living
little
room.
extra work on the cops' part. They might have discovered the bodies earlier, but at the same time, I appreciate
Yeah,
that
how
they
the-
kind of, if it's
yeah.
like any house party with a bunch, I'd appreciate the.
Yeah, it's like you want them to be leading.
As a 17-year-old, I would appreciate him just going away and saying, "All right, cool, we'll turn it down."
party are noticing there's something strange about this place. Their only best friend, Mike Mandel, will discover how strange behind this door.
My eyes popped up. This is real.
He's claiming that he killed his parents.
Stay with us.
Fuck.
2020.
For months, 17-year-old Tyler Hadley Rickett.
No parents in sight. Tyler's older brother, Ryan, away at college.
One kid was walking around saying, "I smell dead people." Other kids had seen some signs of blood or what could have been blood. The house was a mess. It looked like it had been ransacked.
As the night wears down, Tyler is growing agitated.
Do you recall him yelling at somebody trying to go back towards the back part of the house?
Yes. I heard him just saying, "Get out of the hallway. I don't want anyone in the hallway."
How does he seem?
He seems eager to tell me something, and he wants to take me down the street and talk.
All right, so you guys walk out the house. Tell me what happens.
He says, "Mike, I killed my parents." And I said, "No, you didn't, Tyler. Shut up." And he said, "Mike, look at the driveway.
Shut up, Tyler.
All the cars are there. My parents are dead. I killed them."
And then With partying teens still inside the house, Tyler tells Mike to look for the telltale sign. Blood by a computer desk where Mary Jo had been working, and by the master bedroom door. But still, Mike doesn't believe it.
I actually thought he went that far out to play a prank on me.
I
that
totally
he
would have thought the same
actually
thing.
put fake blood on the
I
wall.
wouldn't have believed him at all.
You think he's playing a
like
prank
literally,
at
if I
this
saw
point?
the bodies,
Anything but.
I'd be like, "How'd you make that look so?" Like, there's, you know, if my friend told me that, I wouldn't believe it.
You would never.
Especially think about like how zonked out they are, or he is. Because I was just remembering times we were just talking about how
you're high or drunk. Like, yeah, he
just
killed
like,
your parents. Yeah.
womp, womp. There's like a, you know, like everything's just like, wait, what? You know how like something happens and you're just like, fuck it, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I've been so drunk that I hopped a curb, not hopped a curb, but I hit a curb, flat tire, down the street from my house, rode the rim all the way to my house, got out and was like, fuck. Oh, well.
I'll deal with it
Just
tomorrow.
went upstairs and went to sleep. Like, nah, just like, fuck it. You know? Cause,
yeah, what are you going to do?
Because you're so like, Can you imagine like somebody saying, yo, I killed my parents. God damn, I got to deal with this shit now. I was about to go to sleep.
Inebriated. Give me another beer.
What it is.
The idea that teenagers are playing beer pong right here, while just steps away behind this door, his best friend's parents lay lifeless, is too much for Mike to fathom.
I took Tyler into the garage and I said, I want to see them dead. If you really did it, I don't believe you.
That's a good friend.
Tyler says he'll prove it.
I'm like,
after
all right, later.
Everyone leaves, but Mike doesn't wait.
I walk around back and I go check for myself. I come up to the door. The party's going on over here. And I turn the doorknob, push it, and it opened. I looked down and I seen his father's leg against the door.
What's going through your mind?
Blew my high. Blew it.
My eyes popped up. And I said, he's telling the truth. He did it. This is real. I'm in shock.
This is real as fuck.
I went in the kitchen, got me another bush. Was like, fuck. Had me a drink.
Doc, I feel like there's no way that I'm seeing this. Wake up.
Then Mike Mandel does something as shocking as the party. He doesn't leave.
Now, you'd think Mandel would rush to call his parents or take his cell phone surreptitiously.
No, Nancy Grace, there's still 18 beers left.
I don't know, man. That I would say he's a good friend. That's how you asked me earlier.
Yeah.
I would say he's a good friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not the right move, but that's how you know he was just like a best friend.
You still let shock sink in too, like, whoa.
That's part of it, but like you see the
There's
leg,
actually dead.
you know, he's
dead.
still there trying to like maybe try to salvage something or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still trying to figure it out. Again, that's a good friend.
And
Me,
you're drunk.
I'm out.
And you're drunk.
I'm fucking out, homie. I'll be
And
down
you're
the street.
drunk.
I'll see you tomorrow, bro. All right, man. Good party. Good party. Hey, Mom, sorry to wake you up at 1 a.m., but there's dead bodies out here. You don't go to my mom. You know, I'm sorry to wake you up, but this. Wow.
That part.
And call 911. No.
Now.
Mandel continued to party hardy for several hours.
Party hardy.
It's a hard feeling to explain. You know, I knew this guy for so long.
Right.
Something wants you to stay here right now. You need to talk to Tyler.
Yeah.
Boy Scout merit badges.
And figure out as much stuff as you can.
How long do you stay?
A couple hours.
How do you do that? How do you... Isn't
Super
it
high.
eating you up inside?
Super
It
high.
is eating me up inside. Even though you know he
Not
just
eating
killed
me.
two people.
Not eating me as up as his
you
ex,
don't see
though.
him as a killer.
You still see him as a friend at that point.
Nah, man.
Yes.
Yo, that's
Why
the
not try to
that's
get-
the ex. That's the ex right there. You
Yeah.
still want to see? Hey, no, listen, man. I understand.
I get it.
I get it. I love you, man. I'm sorry that you
killed
had
somebody.
to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right? Yeah, I know. He was too high to function.
Get Tyler out of the house immediately or call the cops because he could be a danger to everybody in that house. including
Ecstasy,
you.
bro.
I was still in shock.
I was
Then,
still in
a
high.
bizarre moment between best friends, they take this selfie. And I have to show you something.
That's
here.
a little
Why did you take
odd.
this picture?
Because I knew it was going to be the last time I ever seen him.
So this was to remember him.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at this picture and they say, Mike's callous. He doesn't care. What do you say to those people?
Look at the picture. Am I smiling? Is Tyler smiling?
That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
They took a selfie together.
That's extra.
That's like this generation type of shit.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
They're like into that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's fucking take a picture.
I can see that because I I think sometimes when I see like when like the grandparent is dying or something, they take a picture like holding their hand. I find that odd.
Yeah.
Like I think that I don't want to be like insensitive or whatever.
Yeah.
I know I have friends that did that, so I'm not judging. I just
What about people that take a picture by the casket?
At the casket? It's like, what, bro?
My uncle did that, and I was like, I didn't even say anything. I was like, okay, this is bad awkward.
Dog, if I'm at any one of my family members' funerals and anybody takes a picture, I'm making a fucking scene. Because I almost did at my grandfather's because there was a woman rolling around the aisle. I'm like, you better get the fuck up off the fucking ground. It ain't about you.
You better find the spirit and put it away in your pocket.
It ain't about you at all. That shit, it made me so mad, but I was too young and good that I didn't. But like, it ain't about you, dog.
Yeah.
My grandfather's dead, it's about him. Stop making it about you.
Yeah.
I hate that shit when people like too. Fucking like make shit about them.
Yeah.
That isn't nearly anything about them. Still makes me mad right now. It's like, fuck.
He looks very worried to me. And he looks very scared.
And how do you look in this picture?
I look like that this is the worst day of my life. I knew I was going to call the cops on him when I took that picture.
In shock and unable to keep it to himself, Mike tells another friend.
And he showed me blood splatter on the baseboard.
Baseboard?
Near his parents' bedroom.
What did you do?
I basically told him that I was getting the hell out of
there. There you go!
I was like, I'm leaving. You can come with me.
Mike is still
That's how you handle that shit.
Best friend, but when he finally does, Tyler is quick to notice.
Tyler calls me on my cell phone and he said, Mike, where'd you go? Party's still happening.
I'm at home sleeping, bro. I'll hit you back in the morning.
No, your boy Jesse had the right idea. Jesse was like, hey, what's up, Mike? What's up? Baseboard. What is that? That's blood? Oh. Hold on, this my beer. All right, y'all, see y'all later. No, I'm out. I'm going. Hey, you can come. You want to come? Let's go. Let's get out of here, because I'm about to go call the cops. This motherfucker killed his parents. Y'all are stupid for staying here.
And I said, Tyler, I'm tired. It's 4 a.m. I'm going to sleep. And he said, okay, man, well, I'm having a party tomorrow. Are you going to come? And I said, yeah, I'll be there.
There you go.
This is a party Tyler never wants to end.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
At 4:40 a.m., he posts on Facebook, party at my house. Again, hit me up. But Mike Mandel won't be there.
And immediately after I hang up the phone, I call Crime Stoppers.
He got a call from our call center, and he's claiming he killed his parents. So he did what to his parents? He's claiming that he killed his parents.
What were you thinking as you're making that call? You know that what you're telling Crime Stoppers could send him to jail for the rest of his life.
It wasn't a good feeling, but, even though I was in shock and I didn't believe it, I still knew that I had to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't call, I would live with that for the rest of my life.
Nah, that wasn't what that was.
Calls police too.
It's something.
It felt like I knew if I had to call, I'd be in trouble too. I feel like that's what was about to come out of his mouth.
Yeah, because you were at his party
for like hours afterwards.
Yeah.
And again, that's friend and selfies and whatever.
Is that illegal?
Is it illegal? I don't think so. He didn't hide anything.
If you know about the death, though.
I think maybe if he had waited 2 days or some shit like that.
Because how does he know they're not, fully dead?
That's a good point. They could have had some sort of, sign of life. Yeah, again, I think he, like you're saying, I think he gets chalked up to him being a kid a little bit. And rightfully so. Who knows how anybody, if you, whatever, I don't know how I'd react to everything. You know what I mean? But Jesse is me. That dude Jesse, the little goatee down here, that's me. Oh, good. I'm out. See y'all.
To his parents.
Did he hurt them? Are they still alive?
My understanding of it was that he killed them. The bodies are supposed to be at his house. I don't think it's a joke.
The kids I spoke to who were at the party were shocked that they had been at a murder scene, but they also thought it was pretty cool that they'd been at this famous party.
There had been a homicide.
Yeah, it's the truth. Kids are fucking retarded like that. Yeah, it's fucking sad, but damn, we were at a party last night.
I was there, though.
Yeah, there was death right around the corner.
I was fucking there, bro.
There was death around the corner.
18-year-old young man had killed his parents with a hammer.
What was your first thought?
First thought is, no. 17-year-olds don't kill their parents with handles.
When Detective Kristen Meyer arrives on the
Nice
scene
guard.
in the wee hours of the morning, remnants of the party are still apparent.
We find beer bottles everywhere. They're all over the front yard.
You come up, here's the door.
The officers knock on the door.
Knock on the door.
Lights go out. So one officer gets cover and starts calling for backup. And this officer here, the door opens. And there stands Tyler.
When we come back,
She grabbed her head and said, "Why, Tyler, why?"
Oh,
it's
God.
the question everyone wants answered. Why did Tyler snap? Was it a threat, a final ultimatum from his parents that pushed Tyler too far?
That's your motive for the murder.
And they creep up to this window because they can peek in.
What kind of state was he in at that point?
They talked about the look on his face. One officer describes it as deranged.
Officers ask where his parents are.
He said they're out of town. They're in West Palm Beach. He's placed in handcuffs, and the officers go in and search.
Inside the master bedroom, they find what looks more like a garbage pit than a place where Tyler's parents slept just 24 hours before. The room is packed with items from all over the house. Furniture, magazines, pictures, food. Mom's Good Housekeeping magazine, homework from her students, a family calendar. Underneath, investigators find the bodies of Blake and Mary Jo Hadley. It's the darkest turn possible for a Saturday that began with ordinary errands for the Hadleys. A trip to the local farmer's market, a visit to a dress shop. They were back home early afternoon. His father taking a nap, his mother at the computer. Tyler told his best friend Michael Mandel that to psych himself up, he listened to the Lil Boozy song Feel Lucky.
How Lil Boozy get involved in this?
Lil Boosie came out of left.
Boosie Badass came out of nowhere.
Lil Boosie might kill your parents.
Whoa, shit. Oh, no.
I could see you wanting to kill your parents after Eminem, but not Lil Boosie.
Not Lil Boosie. He's trying
Then
to get
he
a bad
grabbed a
bitch.
hammer.
He said he stood behind his mother for 5 minutes while she was on the computer.
It probably felt
trying
like
to
5 minutes.
Figure out whether or not he should hit her or not, and then at some point he hit her.
Mary Jo's screams woke his father. He rushed to the doorway and was stunned by what he saw.
And he couldn't even move. And Tyler said he ran up to his father, hit him, and his father asked him why he's doing this, and he said, "Why the not?"
Tyler told him that he then dragged his parents' bodies to their bedroom, then spent hours cleaning up the blood, stripping the walls, leaving empty hooks where family photos once hung, adding them to the pile. At some point during all of this, Tyler makes that post on Facebook that the party is on. He uses his parents' ATM card to withdraw $400 in cash and buys beer for the party.
At the party, he's having a great time. He's playing round after round after round of beer pong. He's laughing. He's joking. He's
Yeah, it's a party,
planning
Nancy.
A party for the next night.
What occurred that day was what can only be described as one of the most heinous, cold-blooded, and calculated murders I've seen in 23 years as a prosecutor.
Calculated, though?
The prosecutor assigned to the case, Tom Bakadal, tries to make sense of the grisly murders.
This is not your kid from the wrong side of the tracks. This is not your kid who was raised in an abusive, violent family. And these parents gave him everything.
Investigators find evidence that points to premeditation. For months, Tyler repeatedly talked about killing his parents to his friends.
His mom took his phone away, and he said he was going to kill her.
He said something about, I'm going to kill my parents.
I just specifically remember him saying, "I'm going to kill my parents."
He just said it with a smile, so that's why no one took it too serious.
But no one knew just how calculating their friend was. He hid his parents' cell phones before killing them, and with no landline, he knew they couldn't call for help. Less than a month before he was to face trial, Tyler pleaded no contest, leaving a controversial question: his punishment. He could be protected by a 2012 Supreme Court decision, which ruled that for juveniles, a mandatory sentence of life without parole is unconstitutional. But prosecutors argue that with a crime so heinous, Tyler should never see the light of day.
He has sentenced the whole family to life.
But Tyler's defense team argues that Tyler was mentally ill.
The major depressive disorder.
He had
issues with anxiety and
It's real.
depression.
He was suicidal.
It's real. No, it's
Low
real.
self-esteem.
I'm not saying it's not real about depression and all that. I'm not trying to like diminish it. It just every single fucking person that commits a crazy murder uses the defense
because they're crazy.
No, I understand that, but like,
you
every person that commits that crime is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So how is it used as a defense? Only.
That's part of the defense, though.
I know, man. It just feels like a cop out.
It does. It feels like lack of accountability for sure.
It really does. It feels like I can just say I was crazy.
Yeah, but they are.
You didn't like be crazy and give somebody $1,000.
We're shocked by this murder because it's crazy.
No, listen. These crazy people, right? This crazy kid, he didn't like withdraw that $400 and give it to a homeless person out of nowhere.
Nah, he spent it on beer because he wanted everybody to like him. He's dealing with. I'm
saying the crazy shit that the criminals or whatever. It's never like, whoops, I dropped off this single mother of two to a mansion and bought her a it's never like something positive. It's always like, my crazy ass killed somebody, so I should get off because I'm crazy.
Well, I don't think you should get off, but it should be
no, that's a defense though. So I'm saying, well, I know you don't think that.
They have to do that to try, and I don't think it's so far as getting him off. It's more about preventing the death penalty. You know what I mean? They have to try that.
I get that. It feels like a cop out because, like you're saying, every person that does that has a problem.
Right.
It's automatic. It's like it should be assumed there's a mental problem there.
I think we're all fucked up as humans either way.
So why are we even using it as a defense? Why is he allowed to why is Markeith Lloyd allowed to remember Markeith Lloyd?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he allowed to use that?
As soon as he gets the other trials finished with the police officer, we got to do the Markeith Lloyd.
Yeah. Once
it's clean and shut. Yeah, they have to be fair and impartial. So they have to put all evidence, and you have to hear the case, and it's part of the circumstances of the evidence. And I do think the kid is crazy. I don't, mental institution for the rest of his life, maybe. I don't think he should be let out, and that's what's going to happen is when he's like 40 or 50, they'll let him out because he was 17 when he did it.
Right. Yeah. I don't agree with death penalty either.
But then you never know because you could have like the the kid that we were talking about, Dr. Love. He got out of jail, scammed people, back to the same old shit. What about, remember the other kid? He's like, I just like to do hood rat shit.
Hood rat shit with my friends.
And he kept doing hood rat shit with his friends until he was older.
Mm-hmm.
Robbed a pizza guy or something.
Some dumb shit, yeah.
It's like, is it in him? I don't know, man. It's hard.
Go sit down.
It's hard. Go sit down for sure.
Go sit down. Go sit down.
You need to speak about your problems for the rest of your life.
Sure, man. If it's a mental thing, then
shrink
wrap it.
Civil service. I mean, we basically got the gist of the story.
No, for sure.
I think it's again, like Thompson said, we're not trying to judge the parents and their parenting. We're just trying to figure out how someone like this get pushed to the edge. And unfortunately, it's such a simple thing.
He seemed like he was a little what's the term for somebody who feels like they deserve something.
Entitled.
Feels like he's a little entitled.
Very entitled.
And he wants to go out and get drunk and fucked up, and his parents won't let him because they're good parents. So they try to control some of his freedoms, in which case he decides to kill them. So his little entitled punk ass killed his mom and his dad because they took away his cell phone.
Now, you can't take away from being a parent. A parent's going to absolutely, the right parent should absolutely always be there and prevent things like that. But at when do you give up as a parent? When do you say, yeah, learn your lesson in the street?
I guess when they're like 30 or something.
That old?
Yeah, I think 30 is a good age.
If you have a young kid start doing drugs at 13, is not learning, is this scenario.
Right.
I don't have any kids, so it'd be hard, but I think you should kind of just let them be in the streets and have to eat some shit.
I'm combining like my life experience with my love for my child. I think if my child, who hasn't yet fucked up like that, if he does, giving up is a strong word, but like changing how hard you go for them. I think
maybe letting them spend a few months in jail if they get caught up.
I think 30 is a good age, just because in my 20s I did dumb shit. You know what I mean? And I was helped out of it, just financially. But
what if the parents, he got home that day
I know people are like 30. Goddamn, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You get home at 17 drunk. Your parents are like, you know what? Keep your phone. Do what you got to do. But if you think you're grown up, man enough to be out getting drunk, you need to live in the streets. You can't live here no more. Do whatever you want. Go live in the
make
streets.
them be more fucked up.
I don't know. I think sometimes when you get an entitled person and you let them eat a little bit of shit, have a sleep a couple nights in the streets or fend for themselves, hell, be in jail for a month or whatever.
Yeah, they're just gonna go to their friends. They're gonna go smoke more weed. They're gonna go suck some random dude's dick and like get money to do whatever. You know what I mean?
Just suck dicks. It's a commodity out here.
It is. Are you saying it's not? It's literally the oldest commodity.
I just wouldn't think of that be like the first thing of survival. That might be like the last thing of survival when you're all crackheaded out and shit. But
I mean,
not like
maybe for a man. Maybe
not
for a
like
man.
age 17, freshly kicked out of the house. Like, oh, where's the dicks at?
Hey man, where's the money? It's easy. It's free.
Oh man, the moral of the story is if you're down on your luck, go out and suck some dick.
That's not the moral of the story. Try again. Do a better one. Do a better one.
All right. The moral of the story is let your kids learn their own lessons. Stop being a parent.
That's not a good moral. Come on, man. Do
That's
better.
a great moral.
Moral is story.
If your kid is out of line and you've done everything you can to try to make them a good person, they continue to fuck up. Let that motherfucker wear his own underwear in the streets. Wash your own clothes.
Okay.
Feed yourself.
Okay.
All right, and then let's talk about entitlement.
Okay, I'm going to add on to that, that the last part I pretty much agreed on. I think the moral of the story is instill some sort of respect and fear in your child early enough so that when they do become of age, when they start bucking on you, that they have some sort of like primeval early on, like maybe I shouldn't fuck with my parent feeling, so that when you're trying to tell them the right thing to do, they listen to you. Because when they were 8, you wouldn't let them get away with that bullshit.
So you're Scar in the Lion Pack.
I'm Scar? How am I Scar?
You're Scar from the
How am I
Lion
Scar?
King. You're Scar, bro.
How am I Scar?
You're giving tough love.
How did he give he killed his dad? That's not tough love.
Hey, you want to be king? Gotta grow up on your own.
Nah, his dad was giving him all the tough love he needed. You know what I mean? All of it.
Anyway, it's Fresh Produce Florida Media at Gmail. I go by Fredo Peens.
I'm still Thompson. Hit your children. Don't beat them. Hit them.
Hit them.
That's
Righteous and ratchet.